we are live. This helps if I get the link ready there. So I didn't do that because I'm an idiot. There we go. Just in case YoZeph decides to show up, we'll get his link ready. So, good morning, one and all. Yeah, I feel like crap. And I blame my good friend who you don't know. So, as I knock stuff on the floor, I don't need to name him. If he happens to see this, he'll know who I'm talking about, that jerk. And, you know, this is exactly why I keep telling people to, you know, not be jerks about the whole thing with the, regardless of whether it's just something stupid or the actual dreaded virus that's been going around. You know, if you're not feeling well, then, you know, don't go out and hang out with your friends. You know, it's just a rude thing to do. And so this friend of mine had been basically coughing up a lung. He said, "Oh no, don't worry. It was just for a couple of days. I'm all better." And then he came and met us for lunch, and the whole time he was coughing and hacking and coughing and hacking, and now my sinuses are acting all up, and we're like, "Oh, great!" And so we're kind, you know, and so now we're kind of self-quarantining just to be safe. But and I told, and he's one of those people that denies the whole thing is even real, and is, you know, is anti-injection and all that. And I'm like, dude, you know, I'm never gonna let him hear the end of it if we end up having it because of him. So, and he still doesn't. He still doesn't believe it. You know, and I'm just fed up with people just being stupid about it. I'm just done with it.
Evil beware.
So, and hey, Jordan, how you doing? So, later today, me and the wife are gonna order a pizza and watch Dune. And exactly, seriously, yeah, it's all fun and games till someone pisses in your cereal. Well, you know, and I know that he genuinely, you know, it's not out of maliciousness. Like, he didn't think that he was going to, you know, make anybody sick or anything, but you know, these people that are deniers are just being stupid. And I'm sorry, I don't know any other word to use for it. I'm not saying they are stupid. I'm saying they're acting stupid. Because, like, my friend, I don't think he's a dumb person, but I think he's behaving in a dumb way. And I genuinely don't understand why is it that so many people in this country are behaving so irrationally right now. I genuinely do not understand it. It makes no sense to me. Robert says, hello and good morning. Have you heard about what Takai said about Shatner after a space flight? You know what? Speaking of stupid, I heard a little bit about it, and I basically, as soon as I read that, oh, he's saying disparaging things about Shatner, I was like, yeah, F that, I'm done. Because I am so sick of Takei throwing sour grapes every time Shatner does something. He needs to shut the heck up. I understand that Takei doesn't like Shatner. Can we please move on, George Takei? You know what? Congratulations, George. You are one of the single most successful Asian American actors in Hollywood. Shut the F up. First world problems, dude. Yeah, you know what? What happened to you during World War II was a crime against humanity. And look at how you came back from that, man. Shut the F up. You want to talk about what happened to you in World War II? Yeah, you got a book there. Yeah, you got a story there to tell. You want to bitch about William Shatner being fat and going to space? Shut the F up. I mean, I really, that's, you want to talk about being stupid? Here's a man who survived, survived isn't even the right word, but, because it's not like we weren't being like the Germans, but, here's a man who went through the whole internment camp thing in World War II and, has that story to tell. And what does he want to do? He wants to complain about his, personal, personality conflicts with, one of his co-workers from the 1960s. I mean, I'm sorry, people. Can we grow up a little? I'm sorry. Look, George, I love you, buddy. I love Sulu and what you did on Star Trek. And I also do truly appreciate what you went through with your life story. I think your life story is an amazing testament to the perseverance of the human spirit. But not when you sit there and just bitch about William Shatner. Then it tells me how stupid the human spirit is. See, you're making me grumpy now. I'm easily grumpifiable today because of this whole thing not feeling well. All right, somebody gonna come up here with me because I'm already, as it is, I don't feel good. So, where's YoZeph? I need YoZeph to come up here and drink some goat milk live on the show. Let's see, what's this one do? It's just socketed. All right, we'll put this one on then. That doesn't do anything. Never played the Sorceress before, so I'm just kind of giving it a try. I generally don't like playing as female characters in RPGs because I prefer to play as my own gender.
Not enough mana.
That was one of my very few problems I had with Diablo 2 was the simple fact that there was no gender selection. Like Diablo 3 corrected that. Because Diablo 3, after you pick your class, you could pick male or female of each class, which I thought was kind of cool.
I need mana.
Alex says, how do I join the game? Well, I'm not in an open game right now, so you can't join this particular game. And so I apologize. I'm just, because I'm just kind of experimenting with this character class. But next time I will. When are you going to let Mrs. Pepper do her game stream of Diablo? Well, you know, I've been. She doesn't have a copy of the game right now because we haven't been able to. You know, we need to get another computer that can play the game, which probably won't be until we move. And Alex Bogey is in the house. How you doing, Alex? Anyway, so this afternoon, me and the missus we're gonna watch Dune, probably order a pizza, and hope that we do not have the virus. That's basically our day in a nutshell. Yeah. Oh yeah, I need to get these controls. Once again, the game keeps resetting the controls every time you leave and come back, which is really stupid. I don't know why it keeps doing that. I says, I have a level 42 orb sort for D2 Resurrected. See, I have no idea what that is because this is my first time ever playing as a sorceress, so what an orb sorceress is, I have no idea. So, using fancy terminology like that might sound impressive to some people. To me, it just tells me that you don't feel like typing it out. Sorry, Alex. I don't get me wrong. I know that that's how the players talk, but I hate it because even though I've been playing Diablo 2 literally since Diablo 2 came out, I've never gotten into the jargon, and I hate it. When people do that kind of thing, and they just use that kind of lingo, it bugs the crap out of me. And again, not picking on you, because I know you're not doing it to be a jerk, but it's like I hate abbreviations. Let's see. All right, now let me go back to town real quick. And the ice tree for the sorceress, max out ice bolt, and then at level 30, ice orb, got it. Yeah, the only reason I'm doing frostbolt right now or ice bolt right now is because I have this handy staff that gives me ice bolt, and so I figured I meant to, and I screwed this up. I like the lightning skills personally. I don't know why I did that as lightning or as ice. That was a screw up on my part, but I'm still super low level, so it's not going to affect me terribly. And let's see. So now I can put this on. And we can put these boots on. Anything else in here we can use? Alright, well. There we go. is that? And I can't use till level 24. That gives me Blizzard. I mean, that's... I mean, that... let's see. And BK Dan says, Happy Friday. Jordan says, gonna head out to work. Too loud for this stream. I'm gonna head out. Work is too loud for this stream. Okay. Oh, and hey, the odd one is here. Hey, Deej, how you doing, buddy?
I thought I'd say hello.
So, how's the farming life treating you? You finding all sorts of odd things out in the dirt? Huh?
What?
You sound like you're underwater or something. You with me, Deej? I think Deej may or may not be there. We'll see if he fades back into existence here in a minute. Robert says, in this new Marvel mobile game I've been playing next to big bad guy I have to face eventually Mastro Hulk. It's called Marvel Revolution for anyone interested.
Okay, I rebooted the sound thing. Did it help?
Yes, now I can hear you.
All right. So the only interesting thing out in the dirt odd was me.
The only interesting thing in the dirt was you?
Yep, that's odd out there.
What were you doing in the dirt? I thought you were supposed to be tilling the dirt.
No, I'm supposed to be driving the tractor, just catching the grain and the corn and dumping it in the semi. But, you know, sometimes you get bored. You got to make a mud pie. Don't ask me where I got the water.
I won't.
No, it's been a lot of breakdowns with the damn equipment and then trying to get the parts for the equipment. Since everything is hard to get a hold of these days, it's been an enjoyable, fun fall so far.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sounds like a party.
Things are being held together with duct tape and super glue.
Well, not just that's just normal farming life, isn't it?
Oh, it's beyond the normal aspect.
Well, but that's the way you like it, isn't it?
Not really. I want it to go really smooth so we can get over with quicker so I can get the hell out of the field.
But
I want to get back to YouTubing.
But if you get out of the field, don't you not get paid?
Well,
I mean, I don't know how the farming thing works.
Still got the cattle stuff and everything else, but it's not 12, 14, 16-hour days. It's 6, 8-hour days.
See, I don't quite get how that works. So, do you get paid just to be on the? Are you like a farm hand kind of guy?
I get paid hourly for what I do out at the farm.
Okay. So if you get paid hourly to be on the farm, then a 12-hour day pays more, right?
With a bad back, bouncing in a tractor all day, that
I can definitely sympathize there.
And 12, 14-hour days makes it for very short nights of getting any kind of sleep.
Sure.
Because there's the whole drive times, and there's times that I gotta do laundry, I gotta cook, I gotta do this and that, so I get maybe 5 hours of sleep a night. I'm really grouchy.
Well, you're really grouchy anyway.
Yeah, but it's even worse than normal. I can't even stand my own grouch.
Well, that just makes you more like everybody else.
I don't want to be like everybody else. I want to be me.
But I'm just saying, like, normally we can't stand you're grouchy.
I'm like so bored out there right now doing soybeans that I've been purposely trying to annoy Captain Foley on his Facebook page by putting or pineapple pizza down on it.
Why you've been putting pineapple pizza on his Facebook page?
He puts up little postings about this and that and everything, and my answer is always pineapple pizza.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure the next time he sees me, he'll tell me I'm fired infinitely.
You know what you should do? And I mean, seriously, you should do this. If you really wanted to drive Foley nuts, and I hope he's not listening right now. Foley, if you're watching this in a repeat, please cover your ears. Do not listen for the next minute or so. All right, so here's what you do. Get yourself like a T-shirt and tie it in a knot so it's like looks like in like a Daisy Duke kind of thing, right? And then like lie in the dirt like in a sexy girl pose, and have your girlfriend take a picture of you. All right, so all right. You with me so far?
I get where you're going on this, but I've got a better idea.
Well, then you post the pictures in Foley's "Beam Me Up Hottie" category.
Well, I do have the Star Trek Expendables shirt that I could tie up.
Oh, yeah, you see? Because Foley is all about that "Beam Me Up Hottie" crap. And
I know it.
And he will be oh man, he will just, yeah.
I had a worse idea though. I find out where he lives, and then I contact a pizza place around there that delivers and have a pineapple pizza delivered to his house.
Yes, but you see, this doesn't imply that you might be an actual stalker.
I'm not a stalker. I just like to pick on Foley.
Yes, but you see, if you put a picture of yourself in this "Beam Me Up Hottie," that completely ruins his day without implying you in any kind of potential crime.
Unless he actually likes it.
I don't know. No. I'm definitely sure he will not like it.
I don't know. I could see the comments from him now.
No, I know Foley enough to know that he will definitely not like it.
Bed doctor asked if you were pissed at...
What's that?
Bed doctor asked, "You talking the piss out of Foley, are you? Carry on."
Yeah. Yes, indeed. We're plotting against Captain Foley here.
And no sci-fi. I don't need the Princess Leia bikini outfit.
No, because it needs to be Star Trek specific for the "Beam Me Up Hottie" category. Because, and for those of you that don't know, Captain Foley is part of a Facebook group called "Beam Me Up Hottie," and all they do is basically post what basically
scantily clad women in Star Trek.
Yeah, and I mean, these women look like they should be in like pornographic magazines. Like it looks like it's like the first picture of a pictorial that the next few pictures they're going to be having less clothing on.
Not that I'm complaining about it, folks. I'm not.
You know, and so I'm just I think that would be so epic for you to just like start posting, and you should like post regularly.
No, I'm not going that far.
Oh man, it would be so awesome.
That they would kick me out of the group quicker than hell.
I don't know. I think some people would start to really enjoy it, but not Foley.
Do a parody song of that old one, "Beam Me Up, Scotty." Do it. Beam me up, Foley, now beam me up, Foley. Wearing a little outfit.
You see, and then you post that on YouTube. You got it all figured out now.
Yeah, you got my demented mind working again.
There you see, I'm here to help, buddy. I'm here to help. I'm trying to help you get your mojo back. And
Well, I try to keep it a little bit by at least putting up random videos from out in the field.
yeah, but you know, here's the problem. You're sitting there farming soybeans.
I'll be back on corn soon.
Yeah, but you're forever going to be the soy boy.
No, they're for Bird of Prey 5. Everyone already knows that they're all Bird of Prey 5 soybeans.
Not enough mana.
Or the Kuroga crops.
Yep, and the Kroger crops. And no sci-fi, I don't need a Mirror Universe T'Pol uniform either.
I need mana.
Well, you have one already?
No. I think Sci-Fi Nation likes to see me in skimpy, weird outfits.
I know he does. You should get someone to do Azure Lane style human depictions of the Enterprises and or various ships. I have no idea what that is. Do you?
Nope.
Okay. Just making sure I wasn't crazy.
I'm not sure who Azure Lane is. No idea.
I'm sure it's a photographer.
So I got about 13 more fields left. And here's the boss calling me. I'll be back in a second.
That sounds like Dr. McCoy ringing in a triangle. I see Daniel's backstage. Hey, Daniel.
Hi, what's up?
Well, you know, same old thing.
Couldn't sleep all night.
You all right?
I got pretty bad insomnia.
Yeah.
And my doctor called a day or two ago, and I told him I have chest pains, you know, and I got numbness on my arm, and you know, and he gave me an appointment at like next week. I have to go to the imaging center and the life labs. So I gotta get like an X-ray around here, and I gotta go to the life labs to get a blood test.
We're doing a blood test. I'm not sure what the test is for, but I hope they figure it out. And
You know, I'm just worried it's diabetes. My mom told me for years, don't eat too much sugar because it's gonna come and bite you in the ass someday. But
well, first of all, don't try to be the doctor. You're not the doctor, so don't diagnose yourself. And just let the doctors do their job and figure out what it is. Whatever it is, you'll get through it. And if it's diabetes, it's diabetes. If it's something else, it's something else. But I will tell.
Don't stress out on the diabetes things because they diagnosed me with it for a few years ago, and it's easily manageable, and you don't have to change that much.
Yeah, type 2 diabetes is actually something that is fairly easy to deal with. But the main thing that I want to encourage you is that, and I know you tend to do this, let the doctors do their job. You're not the doctor. Don't decide what it is before the doctor tells you what it is. But Squidward donated $1 and said he needs to wear one of those Ito outfits from TNG Justice. That I think would work. I think that would be an excellent idea, Squidward. So I think that should be your next costume purchase.
No.
Why not?
If they want they know the routine. If they want the costumes, they hold the fundraiser, they get it, and they send it to me. I'm not buying it. Especially if it's something weird like that.
How's that weird?
I'm just saying, I'm done buying costumes. They can send them to me now if they want me to wear them. And
let's see. Is that iced coffee you're drinking? No. It's just, I don't even know what it is. It's just something cold.
I have the coffee, folks.
Fed Doc says, have a mate, older gent who is handling diabetes, managing it very well, but his medication makes him not want to drink. Oh, the poor guy. Horrible side effects. My wife has type 2 diabetes, but it's pretty much under control just through diet.
Yeah, that's the only thing. You got to cut out a lot of the sugar. You can still have it every once in a while, but...
My grandma got diabetes when she was 40.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, but
it's in my family.
Well, like I said, don't stress over it. Let the doctors run their tests, figure out what's going on with you. That's the important thing. There's a million things that can cause your symptoms, and that's why the doctors run these tests. I mean, if there was only one thing that could cause those symptoms, they wouldn't need the test.
It's so hard to cut sugar because there's sugar in everything. There's sugar in everything. In all the food we eat, there's a lot of sugar in everything.
Do you drink a lot of soda?
Oh, I used to. When I was a kid, I would drink soda all the time. There would be a big jug of Coke on the table, and I would drink so much Coke, and yeah. But then I stopped when I back in 2011. I had to try to eat and drink healthier because back in 2011, I went to the bathroom and I saw, blood. It was blood. And I was scared. I went to the doctor. I said, "Oh my God, there's so much blood in my stool, and what's going on?" And so he took me to a doctor, and I got scanned, and he said, "No, nothing's wrong." And I'm like, "Well, what could that be? There's so much blood in the toilet. What can that be?" And like, I wiped, there's blood. I wiped, there's blood. I look back, there's blood. And they say, well, sometimes when the food can't get through, it cuts a little bit of your, insides.
And it irritates your colon.
Yeah. And yeah, and then it kind of stopped in 2012. And I've been fine ever since, no problems. Yeah.
Just wait till you get to our age and they start
This
telling you
cave has been
that you
purged of
should
evil.
go in for colonoscopies.
Oh, yeah. Or as we like to call it, annual rape session.
Hey,
yeah,
mine...
when they stick the finger up the bum.
No, they send a camera up there.
Yeah, they do a whole lot more than a finger. They ran a garden snake up there attached to a cybernetic machine, and yeah, they run
a plumber's snake.
Yeah,
I call it.
Except
mine turned out so good they told me I didn't need another one for 10 years. So
I'm high risk, so I'm supposed to do it like every year. Because I actually had colon cancer a few years back.
I think they just didn't like it that I had exit only wrote out on my butt cheeks with a marker when I went in.
Another thing I told my doctor, and he gave me the same answer you did, Anti-Trekker, when I said, in November, the government of Canada is forcing everybody to take the vaccine, otherwise they won't be able to go into stores.
No, we are not talking about that. No.
What?
No.
No, YouTube's getting really tough.
We
on
do
that
not.
shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, now I know. Sorry.
No, it's more than You got. That's not a I'm sorry thing. Look, YouTube is shutting channels down for that kind of talk. Don't do it, man. You got to catch yourself on that. I know it slips, but dude, you got to be more careful than that, because if you get a channel shut down, then sorry ain't gonna cut it.
Oh,
All right, so please, I've said over and over and over, we do not talk about the injection.
oh, I gotta
Okay.
make a note
Right.
of this. Hold on, I gotta make a note of this
All right.
because I got very bad
Yeah,
memory.
that's fine, but we do not talk about the injection under any circumstance whatsoever.
Okay, all right, I gotta make a note of this.
Until such time as Google lifts the ban on such topics.
And that'll never happen because Google likes
Yeah,
getting rid of
but
us small channels.
yeah, and so and Spike, that goes for the chat as well. So just so you know, I don't want anybody talking about it in the chat either. Believe me, I have my opinions
Okay, I
about
made
it.
a note of it.
Right. I have my opinions about it, and I would love to talk about it, but I'm not going to talk about it either. But because despite the fact that I think that it's a topic that can be fun to talk about, plus and you guys know me, I love to have a good argument about things. I wouldn't mind even arguing about it, but since Google doesn't believe in having an open discourse on the subject, we're not going to do it. We're just not going to go there. All right. So I just don't want to take that chance, because Google is Google, man. Big Brother is watching. And I don't like that. I don't want to be a jerk about it, but hey, I got to preserve the channel.
I got a little fun thing for you here to laugh about.
What's
Local
that?
radio station got put in Facebook jail.
Uh-oh, what'd they
Because
do?
they shared a story. Now this was an actual news story about almost 100 snakes found under some lady's porch or
Okay.
house. They got thrown in Facebook jail because the news story said it was rattlesnakes when it was actually some other type of snake.
So they gave the wrong snake information.
The news article gave the wrong snake.
Okay.
And this was a damn regular TV news crew that went out and had reported this story, and the DJs just replied it. Now everything is getting outrageous where you can't say nothing on anything.
It's just, it's crazy right now. And Squidward asked if I've ever considered streaming on Rumble. Here's the problem with the quote-unquote alternative sites. I don't know about Rumble specifically, but people have asked about like BitChute and
Odyssey and
there's a few other stream sites. So, if your name happens to be, Alex Jones or or PewDiePie or something, sure, you can go to one of these other sites and have a nice big audience over there too. But if you're a small channel or a medium-sized channel, I mean, think about it. I don't generally have an odd, like on a really good day, I'll have 75, maybe 100 people on a stream, and as opposed to some of these channels that'll have thousands of people watching at a time. And so it's not like, this is not a big channel, even though, sure, I have 14,000 subscribers, but most of them don't watch my live streams. So if I go over to one of these channels, I will not have an audience. And so it's not like, and most of these other streaming services are basically just where conservatives go. And no offense to my conservative friends, but I don't want to be a conservative only channel. That's kind of the whole point. I want to talk to people that have differing points of view. If I just wanted to talk to conservatives, then sure, I'd go to a conservative website. But, you know, or you know what? Hey, I'm a Christian. I could go to GodTube. That's a thing. But you know what? I'm not interested in just preaching to the proverbial choir. I'm interested in talking to people both who agree and who disagree. So yeah, I like talking to my friends like Life with Matthew, but I also like talking to people like Bird of Prey 5, right? So, you know, trying to get two extremes there. See what I did there? Good and evil.
Some days, though, it's hard to figure out which of the two is the evil one.
Well, I'm not really. Matthew is generally the good one out of those two. Come on.
I don't know. When he puts up a dang bike video and all you see is a butt for the entire thing.
Well, that's just because...
That's kind of evil. That's kind of evil.
No, that's just kind of his latent homoerotic tendencies. That's all. I mean, you know, we all know about Matthew and his man love. I think,
especially for Spock.
Yeah,
especially for Spock.
Exactly. You see. But the, you know, I think that I think that the problem is that now YouTube is the current undisputed king of video and streaming. And the only competition that YouTube has really is Twitch. And
Twitch is worse.
Well, Twitch is, you know, I don't see that. I don't know why some people say that. You know, why do you think Twitch is worse?
They have even more screwed up rules.
You see, I have not had a problem with Twitch. I've never had them do anything.
Well, you do mostly gaming, so you don't really see the problem or run into the problem.
Well, I've done just straight up. I've done religious streams. I've even talked about controversial subjects on Twitch, and I've never had any trouble.
They like you.
Well, that doesn't make much sense. I'm just saying, I personally haven't.
The world doesn't make sense anymore.
No, it doesn't. But I'm just saying, you know, outside of Twitch and YouTube, there's just not much out there that where you can reach a diverse audience and grow. You know, unfortunately, it's just not there. And now I think eventually YouTube will be dethroned, and I really look forward to that day. Because I think that eventually YouTube will go the way of Facebook, or not Facebook, but MySpace. And I will be the first person to celebrate that day.
Why don't you like YouTube?
Because I don't like the fact that Google politicizes it. I don't like the idea that I cannot freely express my opinions. Like I had to shut you up when you mentioned that one particular subject.
Yeah, okay.
All right. I don't like that. I think that either they're a platform or they're a publisher. Period. They can't be both. But they're basically being both, and they're getting away with it. And I don't like that. I think that they need to make up their mind.
I still have MySpace. I'm still friends with
Do you still have a MySpace account?
It's still there. Nothing ever happens on it.
I've never set up a MySpace account, so I don't know.
My first friend was Tom.
Tom.
That was the guy that ran MySpace.
All right, so I have 2 skills. See, I like lightning skills. What do you think? Think I should go for a lightning mage?
Well, that's completely up to you. If you like lightning skills, then do it. Go for it.
Well, you see, the ultimate. It looks like the ultimate attack in Lightning Mage is the Thunderstorm. The Fire Mage, the ultimate attack is the Meteor or the Hydra. The Hydra is pretty cool. And then the Cold Mage, the ultimate attack is the Blizzard or the Frozen Orb, which is the one that someone was talking about, and which is a very popular build, is the Frozen Orb. And Dr. Alex is in the house and says, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Doctor. You know, click on the link in the chat, Dr. Alex. You can join us. We're just talking about whatever. Preferably goat's milk, but YoZeph hasn't joined us yet. I'm really upset that YoZeph has not joined us, by the way. You know, YoZeph is supposed to join us since this is his stream.
Why goat's milk?
Because YoZeph drinks goat's milk right from the teat. You didn't know that?
That explains some things.
Yeah, you know about, you know, because what we've discovered, and granted, I had to do some serious interrogating of YoZeph to discover some of this. Now, you know that YoZeph lives in Slovakia, right?
Of course I know that one.
Okay. So, one thing that a lot of people don't realize is that, so YoZeph, in the United States, you know, we mostly have cities and then towns. In Slovakia, they also have a level of community known as villages, which is YoZeph actually lives in a village.
We have villages here too.
Right, but it's not as common in the United States.
The town I grew up in and went to school in was the village of Neponset.
Yes, but like you said, was the village. Now it's a town.
Well, it's still there. It's still called the village.
But anyway,
I was the village idiot.
I believe that. All right, so YoZeph lives in a village in Slovakia. All right. Now, one thing that is not common knowledge is that goats and sheep are currency in Slovakia. I mean, a lot of people would assume that because it's Slovakia, but it's true. And so YoZeph, of course, has plenty of goats and sheep just wandering around his house, just like you have spare change lying around the house. And so when YoZeph wakes up in the morning, there are usually goats and sheep like standing around like in his bed because, you know, they're just all over the place. And so what he does is like, now if you can see me right now, he wakes up and there's like a goat or a sheep standing right above him in his bed, right? So he reaches up and grabs the teat and just starts squeezing, and that's where he gets his morning drink.
Rumor has it he also milks cats.
He does, but he doesn't like to talk about that for some reason.
So he drinks it without purifying it or anything?
Well, yeah, that's what they do there.
Oh.
Oh, that's what the Amish do here. They just go out and milk a cow.
And actually, that's actually technically the healthiest way to drink it. It's disgusting, but that's technically the healthiest way to drink it. You know, I just want to know who the first person to do it was.
It was a long relative way back of YoZeph's, actually.
I would have thought it was a relative of yours.
No, not mine.
I'm just picturing that person that was like, you know, that big bag hanging underneath the cow there. Let's drink that.
Well, at least he is milking the females and not milking the bulls.
Usually.
It's easy to figure out. If there's only one hanging there, you leave it alone. That's the bull. If there's 4 hanging there, you're good to go.
And Sci-Fi says we have those here also. What, sheep and cows in your bed?
No, villages.
I think he means sheep and cows in his, or sheep and goats in his bed.
It is Sci-Fi Nation.
Yeah. But with Sci-Fi Nation, sheep and goats in his bed is what he calls a bed warmer. Fed Dog says, so you're saying he has easy access to good ingredients for shashik? That and feta, and then NB would be jealous. Well, he may have access to those ingredients, but you know what he does is he just squirts it into his mouth until his mouth is full, and then takes a big swallow, which is
Well, it must be working for him because have you seen his wife?
well, we've seen Yitz's depiction of his wife.
No, I've actually seen his wife.
Have you now?
Quite a while back, he put up a video when he was on vacation, and she was in it. And yes, she is quite the attractive lady.
And
Sci-Fi says, "Don't be hating, saves on heating bills."
well, that may be true, but no, thank you. That's all I'll say. No, thank you.
I don't want to wake up like Sci-Fi does and hear "Daddy, Daddy."
Well, that's kind of what he likes, though. Let's see. Shashik, it's shakewood meat, usually lamb, marinated for the good stuff. Well, it's funny because I actually grew up on a sheep ranch. I don't know that particular dish. I just know my cousin Jim. He makes the best leg of lamb or rack of lamb you've ever tasted. But that particular dish, I don't know anything about. And YoZeph shared pics of her. Oh, sure. I'm sure they're absolutely genuine.
Well, he was.
It's from that time she was in Penthouse magazine, right?
But then again, we have seen Bird of Prey 5 dancing with an attractive blonde that was paid for by his company at the
Exactly.
time, so.
Which I think is hilarious. Bird dancing with a whore.
I may have to get, if I'm really bored out in the field today, I may have to call Bird during his open line and harass him from the field.
You gonna ask him about his whore dance?
Yeah.
Hey, does that mean like his company, like a lot in the country they have hoedowns? Did his company have whoredowns?
No, they just called him a hoedown there too, for legal purposes.
Yeah.
I am going to have a lot of downtime out in the field today.
Why's that?
Well, we can't get started for at least another hour out because it's soybeans. It's got to kind of be dry. Things are hard to... But he has a load of rock being delivered because there is a separate field that we got to get to, and we have to drive through a creek.
Well, you don't say crick?
No, I don't say creek.
I don't know.
I say a creek. Sounding a little more proper for YouTube.
Proper? No, that was
proper. It just depends upon my mood. Sometimes I say crick, sometimes
Oi!
I say Oi!
Oi! We sound proper.
So instead of spinning in the mud like we have in the past years, we're going to have some rock dumped down there, and we can drive through it a lot easier. And try to get as much picked before Sunday as we possibly can. Because we're supposed to get more rain. We're already about 10 days behind schedule because of all the weather and breakdowns.
So Fed says,
Okay.
as long as Deej doesn't do Aussie Deej, I'll be happy. Is there an Aussie Deej?
Oi! How you doing, mate?
Well, I don't know, Fed. It's the Aussie Deej sounds a little more authentic than Aussie Opre.
Good day, mate. Would you like to go out and walk about with me? We go out and go find some dingoes.
I
Kick
mean,
around on the booze.
now I will tell you though, Fed, for the right price, I'll kick him off the stream.
That'll just be $1. Give him $1, he'll kick me off. He'll be more
No,
than happy.
take more than $1. And yet, still better than Aussie Opre. See, I told you.
Yeah, I can do better impersonations than Bird can. My better ones are like Southern accents to make fun of the ones in the South.
On the pass, ye Larkin.
It was an I there. Not an A. It censored it.
Okay. If it wasn't so expensive, he could build an entrance over and run a culvert through for the creek, dude.
Yeah, them damn culverts are expensive.
No idea what
culvert?
you could.
You know, a culvert's the little round metal thing that goes under a road, lets the water pass through.
Okay.
Those damn things are expensive. One that we would need for the size to do it with the whole the weight of the equipment. Those things run at least 12 grand.
Well, why are you spending so much money?
My rogues.
Well, we're not. That's why we're just dumping some rock down here and drive through the rock and through the water. But it's bad enough that we got a brand new platform for the combine to harvest these beans, and the damn thing broke down 6 hours into using the brand new thing.
Sounds like you guys don't know how to farm very well.
No, it's just cheap ass hoses they put on it that can't handle the pressure.
I mean, granted, you're in Illinois. You're not a real farmer.
What?
Well, you're not like in the Central Valley of California or anything. You know.
Excuse me, Midwest, we invented farming.
Uh-huh. Yeah, California just got it right.
No, they just serve lattes out with their workers.
You do know that not all of California is San Francisco and Los Angeles.
No, I do know that there is quite a bit of farmland up in the central area of California.
Actually, it's
northern
not.
parts.
It's yeah. I was going to say I'm from Northern California, actually, but yeah, California is some of the best agricultural land in the world. You should check it out sometime. You'd be very impressed. Like, so the area that I grew up in at the time was not called this, but now is smack dab in the middle of what they now refer to as wine country. And sci-fi, not a real farmer. Illinois is like 80% or more of farmland. Yeah, so California is like 80% or more of farmland. And by the
Yeah,
way,
but the
California is more farmland than Illinois.
Yeah, but the problem with California is they screw over their farmers by not allowing them to have the water. And stuff.
Oh, I'll agree with you
grow
there.
their crops.
They got a main. You see, and I don't know how it is as far as the politics of Illinois. As far as like, does Chicago cause problems for the rest of the state?
Yes, it does. I wish we could get rid of Chicago.
Right.
We
You
would
see-
be so much better.
You see, that's what the problem with California is. Is that with California, it's Los Angeles and San Francisco causing problems for the agricultural parts of California. I mean, everybody thinks that California is just a bunch of tree-hugging liberals, but they forget that Ronald Reagan came from California.
Well, they also forget that Ronald Reagan was born and raised in Illinois.
Whatever.
His birthplace is like 40 minutes away from me.
The libs are working hard to ruin California farm. Oh, yeah, they are. They are definitely working hard to do that. But I'm just, like, the problem with California, I don't know how it is, what the issues are in Illinois. In California, the big problems are water. Mainly that, especially with Southern California, because in Southern California, there's a lot of desert land, and particularly the Los Angeles area is it's all a desert. And so what happens? Well, they need their water for Los Angeles, and so they take all the water away from the farms.
Not enough mana.
And the farms are like, hey, do you want all your wonderful agriculture? And they're like, of course we do. Well, then maybe you should let us have our water. It's an interesting battle.
In Illinois, it's mostly regulations that are strangling the hell out of the farmers here.
Well, why are they regulating the farmers?
Oh hell, they want to stick their fingers into everything so they can make money because the state is almost as bad as California in being in debt. Because of Chicago.
Right.
The fun little meme that we used to have a few years back when a little round boy in North Korea had kind of threatened Guam. We made a map of Chicago and outlined it and then wrote, "This is Guam."
Well, we and no, it's not climate change, Sci-Fi Nation. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a climate change denier, but the water situation has been going on in California for a lot longer than climate change has been a hot political issue.
Well, it's not only though, like LA and that wanting all the water for themselves, but you also have the ones that want to regulate things so badly in California to try to preserve a little fish.
Well, that's been another issue that, like, every time somebody wants to do something, anything, they want you to do some kind of environmental impact study, and if you're trying to do your farmland and they're saying, well, wait a minute, you might have a pink spotted banana slug that lives on your land, and the pink spotted banana slug is an endangered species, therefore you can't plant your crops. And you're like, well, I planted my crops here for 30 years. Yeah, but we didn't know you had pink spotted banana slugs.
It's like here, if you have some ground that's a little swampy, nothing lives on it.
No.
Nothing
There's
at
no
all.
such thing as swampland anymore. It's all wetland.
Well, wetland, nothing lives on this damn spot.
There is
It's
dark
just
magic
soggy
at work here.
wetland. You can't sit there and put tile in there to make it to where you could actually farm on it, because something might try to live there
Yeah.
50 years down the road. That's it. That's what I was trying to think of. What they were called, the Delta smelt.
The Delta smell.
That's some damn little fish in California that they were trying to
Yeah.
say had to be preserved.
Well, that's like
Farmers can't have
when the Clintons destroyed the timber industry in Oregon for the spotted owl. And it's like, really? Nobody cares about the spotted owl. Or at least nobody did care about the spotted owl until all of a sudden, oh, look, spotted owls are a thing.
may get so bored today I might go snipe hunting.
I didn't know you did that.
Actually, the funny thing is, we actually have a bird here in Illinois called a snipe, so if somebody tries to send me snipe hunting, it's not a joke. I can actually find it.
So you guys actually go snipe hunting in...
Well, the bird watchers do. We have our own Miss Hathaway that runs around trying to photograph a snipe.
Not enough mana.
And is Miss Hathaway, is she successful at capturing her snipes?
She is.
And you like Miss Hathaway, do you?
No.
Seems like you're into Miss Hathaway. That's what it seems like to
No.
me.
I was just making random conversation to keep
Keep
from
me
having dead air.
keep me awake.
Because if it goes quiet, Sci-Fi Nation will start yelling dead air.
I don't care. He can yell all he wants.
And I've missed you, 54.5. I have not missed the hashtag poop air river hashtag, but
Wait, hashtag poop air?
back in June, I had this mini class reunion thing that we went to, that I went to, and some of the people there that were drinking let an old nickname they had for me slip, and of course I was drunk that night when I got home, so I just uploaded the video without editing that part out, and now everybody makes fun of me for it.
So you pooped.
No, I was just called Pooh Bear back in the day.
I prefer to think that you just pooped.
Because I was cuddly and stuffed with fluff and...
Sure. And hey, Alex,
Yeah.
how you doing?
And let's not talk about pooping.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we're talking about how Deej pooped while live streaming.
No, I pooped out in the field and fertilized it and then burned that all offense.
Did you
Offended
really?
by
You
it.
pooped in the field?
Well, when you gotta go, you gotta go. And if you're stuck out in the middle of the field, you just gotta do something. That's why you keep a roll of paper towels in the tractor with you, just for an emergency like that.
At least you're being environmentally friendly.
That's right. I've fertilized the dang field.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on what you eat. I mean, if you ate Taco Bell, you could be doing a scorched earth.
That's
Oh,
true.
when I was on the metformin for my diabetes. That was a constant thing. That's one thing, Daniel. If you do have it,
Yeah.
don't let them try to put you on the metformin.
Will you stop? Don't get him worried about stuff.
I'm just saying,
No,
metformin
no,
has this thing of making you gotta go
Don't get him worked up.
after you
please.
eat.
Deej, don't get him worked up. Don't listen.
All right, Daniel, don't listen to me because it only happens in 60 or 70% of people.
Stop. Daniel, do not listen to anything Deej is saying. He's just messing with you.
Let him put you on the Jardins. No, that's good.
Shut up, Deej.
That's the good stuff.
Deej.
I'm
I'm going to kick you
saying
off
that's
the
the good
stream,
stuff.
Deej.
No, nobody paid you money yet. You can't do it.
Now, I can kick you anytime I want. It's my stream. I don't know what you making Daniel think that you're giving him sound medical advice when you're messing with his head.
I'm just saying. what
Yeah,
happened
you're
to me.
messing with his
To me.
head.
What happened to me?
You are not a medical
Let me-
professional, so shut up and let him talk to his doctor and let his doctor do his job. Don't get him all worked up. Oh,
Doctor Who.
I am a medical professional. I have doctor on me.
yeah, whatever. That does not make you a doctor, just so you know.
Oh, well, damn. No wonder I was getting it wrong.
Yeah, putting a tattoo of a doctor on you, of a doctor name, does not make you a doctor. I hate to tell you this.
C 54.5 Access Radio says I am cuddly.
You guys like Doctor Who?
I do.
I used
don't
to
like
until they screwed up the continuity.
I do not like what they've done in the last 3 years with it, but
Yeah, I
Yeah,
used to
hey,
watch
Tractor. Did you watch Doctor Who?
Oh, Fed, thank you so much. There was a $50 donation in there.
Cold ice.
that's why I have a TARDIS in my room.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, it's cool.
that's cool.
See what he said
To
there.
misery.
Nice.
And
To anti-traffic.
Well, you guys, shut up for a minute. Fed just donated $50. Jeez.
Theft Doc
Oh,
$50.
cool.
Wow.
You're lucky.
Position 151. Sometimes what you get free costs entirely too much. Followed by 150.
Can you actually walk through that,
Customer is
or
always
is it just
right until
on
you
the-
have
on
their
the wall?
cash. Enjoy.
No, I
Also, relax, Deej.
so what
Oh.
I was trying to get to where so I could hear what Fed was saying in the donation, but you guys wouldn't shut
Oh.
up. So
My bad.
yeah. So let me go to fortunately I have a little dashboard so I can bring it up. So rule of acquisition number 151. Sometimes what you get free costs entirely too much. Followed by 159. The customer is always right until you have their cash. Enjoy. Also, relax, Deej. You you ain't being booted, not by me at least. Well, I don't know. if he keeps mouthing off about to Daniels, I might boot him anyway. But thank you so much, Fed. I was just kidding. I didn't mean you had to donate, but I do appreciate it, and I truly do, because I am a greedy bastard, as everybody knows.
And Robert, to your comment, all I can say is read between the lines.
I know what your problem is, dude. You said that you said that Jody was your favorite doctor.
No, I did not. That is the worst doctor ever.
You said that you thought that she was awesome.
No, I would rather watch Rowan Atkins' version of the Doctor than her.
Rowan Atkins did a doctor.
Squidward $1.
Yes, he did
Oh,
it
yeah,
for
that
a
was great.
Children in Need
Build a new
special.
one.
It was
Is that
hilarious.
Oh, isn't he Bean?
It's on YouTube.
Yep, Mr.
Oh,
Bean.
okay. I should check that out.
And Squidward, thank
It's
you
on
so
YouTube.
much. If donated $1 and says, if your TARDIS is destroyed and you built a new one, is that a re-TARDIS?
Oh,
Wow. That is about the most politically incorrect question I think you could ask, Squidward.
Yeah, you're not supposed to say that word anymore.
Well, no, it's a. He didn't technically use that word.
And for Alex, for you asking, if you look closely behind me, you will see Tom Baker's scarf, Tom Baker's hat,
Yeah.
a bunch of TARDIS and Daleks up there. So yes, I am a Doctor Who fan.
Yeah, see, I watched it like 10 years ago with I forget the doctor's name, but like the three last doctors before the female doctor or whatever.
So you watched Tennant, Smith, and Capaldi.
Yeah.
Well, apparently for the 60th anniversary, rumor has it they're going to have Eccleston, Tennant, Smith, Capaldi, and of course this abomination that they have now.
Yeah, you said you liked her.
Yeah, I don't like her.
No,
She
I
sucks.
didn't. I do. She sucks. They ruined the entire.
You said
Canon
that you
of the
thought
show.
you thought she was hot. You wanted her to marry
No, I
you.
did not.
That
I did not.
you were hoping
Hell
one.
no.
Your ultimate dream was to wake up one
No,
morning and to have her next
no.
to you.
No, no, no.
In hungry, probing tongues, something
Hell
like
no.
that. Yeah.
I would actually rather wake up with Lore next to me than her.
No, you wouldn't. I've seen Laura up close. You do not want that next to you.
I'm just saying. My
No.
disdain for her. My disdain for her. I would rather wake up with
When you
Lord
realize
in
just
his-
how much hair there is there, you will.
What is it about her you don't like? I haven't seen it, so.
Oh, she's horrible. She is basically. I mean, she's basically trying to fight the patriarchy while doing a really bad imitation of Tennant.
Oh,
and
damn.
half the time the looks on her face is like somebody with a little turd under their nose and she's sniffing it the entire time.
I think I like Tennant the best.
I think that's why
Eccles-
seems like she's trying to do an imitation of Tennant.
Well, it's kind of a cross between Tennant and Smith. She's trying
Yeah.
to do both, I think.
Smith was
Eccleston was a good doctor.
You see, the thing about Eccleston,
yeah.
I didn't necessarily think he was the best, but I think of the reboot or whatever you want to call it, the new generation of doctors, he was the most original. He was the one that felt like, oh, let's do a new take on the Doctor. Because like with Tennant and Smith and Capaldi, they felt like classic iterations of the Doctor in the 21st century. But Eccleston actually felt like a 21st century Doctor.
Capaldi felt like a cross between the first and the fourth Doctor.
Well, I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying all three of those guys felt like they were kind of rehashes of classic Doctors.
Honestly, I think Capaldi was the best for being able to do what he did with the horrible writing he had.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that Capaldi, unfortunately, had the worst writing of the three. I think the writing was getting worse as time went on. Like, the writing was on a progressive downward curve, and I gave up.
Moffat didn't care
Right.
at that point because he was too busy with his other shows.
Right. Well, I stopped watching during the Capaldi era because it just sucked. And then when Whittaker started, I watched the first episode, and that is the only episode of her that I watched.
I forced myself through them all because of those debates I was in. But
Right. Well, and
when
but
it
you see,
first
you're a
started-
Whovian. You're
When
a
it fir-
you're a Whovian at the same level that I'm a Trekkie.
Actually, though, when she first started, I only made it 4 episodes in, and then I quit watching. Period. I only went back and rewatched the rest of them because of the debates that I was getting in, because I wanted to be able to coherently voice my total honest opinions on how the episodes went.
Well, I
Gage.
couldn't stand her. I know you like her, but I
No, I do not like her.
No. What
Yes,
do you
yeah.
think about what they did to Off Duty?
What was that?
Deej, what do you think? Like the Capaldi's Christmas episode. What do you think about the whole? You know, when David Bradley's first Doctor went back in time, and they changed a piece of history permanently. Like, you know, like when he went back in time, he regenerated. But originally he had Polly and Ben and Polly around him, right? But this
Yep.
time he regenerated alone. So they changed history.
Well, I think the only reason why they did that was they couldn't really find any actor and actresses that could somewhat look like those characters, so they just
Yeah,
left it
no,
out
but
because
like the
it's their sloppy writing. It's their sloppy writing.
Right. And let me address one thing. Malfeas is saying Salty Trekker. It's not really Jodie Whittaker's fault. I'm not assigning blame. And don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here. I don't blame Capaldi. I don't blame Whittaker. I don't blame. You know what an actor does? An actor pretends based on the script handed to them, right? Just like, and I know this sounds controversial to some people. I don't blame Brie Larson for the writing on Captain Marvel either. You know, I don't blame actors for the writing of any show or movie that they're in. So, you know, unless they're the writer.
Yeah, this is where I kind of disagree with Salty on it, because I can blame Jody and I can blame Bree, because they themselves are full into what these writers are pulling.
But you see, I think there's a difference between them agreeing with them and blaming them for the project's inception. Because, like, for example, first of all, as far as Captain Marvel's not a bad movie. Captain Marvel is not a great movie, but it's not a bad movie. But the as far as the Jodie Doctor Who, I didn't know anything about Jodie Whittaker before I saw that Doctor Who, and I still don't know anything about Jodie Whittaker other than that she played Doctor Who, and it was horrible. Now, if something else came out that Jodie Whittaker was in, would her horrible performance in Doctor Who taint my vision of whatever? No, because she's an actor. And sometimes actors are in, you know what? George Clooney was in the worst Batman movie ever. Does that mean that George Clooney is the worst actor ever? Well, he's not a great actor, but he's not the worst actor ever. And you know, well, sorry, he's not that great. He's kind of
come on.
Okay,
That
I'm going to
Batman
disagree there too.
so
Because
much fun.
I'm going to disagree there too, because I think the Val Kilmer Batman movie was worse.
Well, you're wrong, but
I'd say I'd almost agree, because Batman and Robin is so bad, it's funny to me.
well, I'm not saying it's not totally without some level of entertainment value, but come on. If
Fine, who doesn't like bat nipples?
Yeah.
Me. Hand raised, you know, but the point is just that I'm not blaming George Clooney for Joel Schumacher's decisions on Batman and Robin, right? And or Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? Or anybody else that's involved in that project. Like, if you look at Arnold Schwarzenegger's films, both before and after Batman and Robin, Arnold's made some great movies. And so if I were to just watch Batman and Robin and say, oh, Arnold Schwarzenegger's horrible because, you know, what killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. And I was
Which
like,
isn't true.
You know, and well, I'm just saying, if that was going to be my judgment, that Arnold Schwarzenegger sucks because of Batman and Robin, and then
it's the writing,
right? Then I would miss out on, oh gosh, I wish I could remember the name of the movie, The Last Stand, which was an incredible, in my opinion, Schwarzenegger's absolute best performance. If you haven't seen it, you absolutely need to see it. He plays a small.
You think that's his best performance?
Yeah, he plays that small town sheriff.
I mean, I thought the movie was okay, but
I loved it. I absolutely loved it, because in that one he plays the guy that used to be the big action star.
That's true.
You know, I love that, and so I like that. I liked him in a few movies that he made after that. Or if I didn't bother to go back and see him in classics like, say, The Terminator or Predator, because the first thing I saw him in was Batman and Robin. You know, so you
can name an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie worse than Batman and Robin, though.
I'm sure you can.
Well, yeah.
Maggie.
I can name a Sylvester Stallone movie worse than Batman and Robin.
Escape Plan.
You know,
Hmm?
I think Arnold's making a sequel to Twins.
No, Party at Rocco's House, renamed later the Italian Stallion.
Well, that's a porno.
It's actually not. It's called a porno because there's.
I've just heard it's a porno.
Yeah, it's called a porno because there's nudity in it, and I think like full on frontal, but it's not really a porno. It's just it's kind of a weird art film. Like, imagine, and I'm not making this up, imagine like a sequence of this film where you see Sylvester Stallone along with like 10 other people, arms linked in a circle, dancing butt naked.
What?
At that's what this movie is. Okay, so and so yeah, and
What about Stallone's first movie, Death Race 2000?
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
That is a great cult
okay.
classic. It's a great cult classic.
His best movie's Rocky 1.
Oh, you know what though?
Rocky 1's such an amazing movie.
I loved
I don't
Rocky.
know, First Blood.
I loved Rocky
well, that's
1,
great.
but I also, and I gotta say, I really, really appreciated Rocky Balboa.
Yeah, that's good too.
And I mean, I was when they announced Rocky Balboa, I was like, come on. And then when I saw it, I was like, wow. That was the movie that
Yeah.
because that hit me as hard as Rocky did. And I think, and a lot of it because you were like, come on, there's no way. The man is washed up. He's 150 years old. And then you see it, and that's what the movie's about. And it was perfectly done. But
Yeah.
the point though is just that I'm not judging an actor based on a singular movie. But you can judge an actor's career on their body of work, sure. Like, obviously if you look at Schwarzenegger's entire body of work, you can see that he took advantage of his physical prowess, particularly in his early career. That he knew exactly what he was, that he was a physical presence on screen, and that's and he took big advantage of that and put himself into movies where there were lots of pretty explosions, and that made him a lot of money.
Yeah, Arnold isn't a great actor, but he has a lot of charisma.
Yeah, and he's the first to admit it. That's the
Especially
beauty
with
of
a housemaid.
Yeah. Well, that's that. But you know what? But that's the other thing, though, Deej. I purposely avoid stories about the personal lives of actors and producers and stuff. I don't want to know, and quite frankly, I'm tired of shows like Entertainment Tonight and stuff like that because I don't want to know about Arnold Schwarzenegger and his mistress. I really don't want to know.
It's really none of our business. Really.
No, but it makes for a good joke.
Yeah, but I don't
absolutely.
want to know. It's unless there's and even then I don't really want to know. But if there's a crime involved, then the only people that really need to get involved are the frickin' police. And if it's something like infidelity, then maybe a divorce attorney. But me personally, I don't care. I hate the fact that I know all about the Roman Polanski case because I find that so vile and disgusting.
Well, he's a pedophile, so that's disgusting.
I know,
what I find disgusting about that though is all the Hollywood elites that still stick up for him.
But that's the thing. I don't.
Yeah,
that's why That's why I hate knowing so much about it because it taints some great movies. Like I can't watch Rosemary's Baby, even though Rosemary's Baby is a great movie. I can't watch it because I can't watch it without thinking about what the director did. And have a good night, YoZeph, Fed Doc. Where is YoZeph? YoZeph, where are you?
YoZeph's busy milking a goat.
He probably is. He's drinking that goat milk, right? He's not even squeezing the teat. He's just sucking right on it, I think. I think that's what's going on.
Oh, I did not need that mental image.
YoZeph, he's like, this, yeah. Anyway, but with Polanski, the fact that he was convicted, not even accused, he was convicted in court, and he fled his sentencing. He didn't flee his trial. He fled his sentencing. and has been living out of the country ever since, and that the rest of Hollywood is all free Roman Polanski, and it's like, what are you talking about? The man is a convicted child molester, and you're defending him. Meanwhile, all you people want are you want a Me Too Harvey Weinstein.
They're a bunch of hypocrites.
Yeah.
And
I really, yeah. It's like, what is
See,
your?
that's why Paul Rubens is the best actor ever, because at least he kept his hand to himself.
oh God.
And Darth Maul says Stallone's daughters have a podcast and they interviewed their father. I never knew so much about the man. He's a very humble guy. Yeah, I've heard that about Stallone. And the funny thing, like, Stallone put so much into Rocky, and that was kind of his story. So that's why I think Rocky came across as so genuine, is because that's how Stallone sees himself.
I still think First Blood was better than Rocky.
Well, fine, but you're wrong.
Yeah, I'd say it's Rocky 1, then First Blood. Just because Rocky 1's such a good love story, it's just great. But First Blood's really good too.
And Robert wants to know what happened to Ron Jeremy. I don't care. I really do not care. What?
Salty, I'll put it this way: you'll appreciate.
I'm sure they're going to stretch out Ron Jeremy's case as long as possible.
First Blood is about a man trying to escape Kuroga.
Well, yeah, that goes without saying.
So that should make you appreciate the movie much more.
Well, maybe I'll watch it with that in mind. What would be fun would be I've never actually... I've seen one of the First Blood movies. But it might be fun to do First Blood on a movie night with Matthew, but re-edit it so that it's actually him escaping from Vietnam, right?
No.
First Blood, he's in a small town trying to get away from a corrupt sheriff.
Oh, okay. I thought he was like... I thought first... Oh, no, it's First Blood Part 2. He goes back to Vietnam to, get POWs, right?
Yeah, to take pictures of them.
Okay. Yep.
So you do, First Blood Part 2, except you redub it so that every time they say the word Vietnam, you dub in Kuroga.
Now, if you really want to drive him nuts, do Part 3. That is the worst of them all.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah, I don't know what they're talking about. They're talking about some stupid Stallone movie. I just remember First Blood Part 3 is the one where it's just a gigantic action sequence with 5 minutes of dialogue, right?
Yeah, that's basically why Weird Al made fun of it in UHF. He was making fun of Part 3.
Right. That's the one I think I've seen. And granted, it was a fine action sequence for 90 minutes, but, I even then I knew how stupid it was that Stallone was running around carrying an M60 machine gun with one hand.
Yeah, totally unbelievable.
Yes.
Anybody that served in the military that shot an M60 knows there's no freaking way you can do that.
There is a way to fire an M60 while standing up, but it requires two people. Well, YoZeph's not showing up. I'm still pissed off at him. YoZeph, if you see this, and I know you're watching this right now, YoZeph, sometime in the future. I made this live stream just for you, just so that we could talk about goat milk with you, and you're not here. And so we are all very, very upset, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
Not so much.
You're not helping, dude.
Yeah.
When have I ever been helpful?
Well, that's true. So, yeah. You jerk, YoZeph. He's probably selling like millions of dollars worth of computers right now. Because, you know, that's...
Hold on. I'm going to look at something.
Okay. What are you looking at?
See if he's over on another stream right now.
Oh.
Because
Well, Bird's not stream. Oh, you thinking like Morning Brew or something?
before I popped over here, I seen Jedi Bill was streaming, and
Oh,
there was
okay.
a ton of people over there.
That could be. I forget a bunch of people stream in the morning.
Let's see. Birds over at Jedi Bills, Captain Trek, LPG, Elihu, Son of a Red Shirt. And there is YoZeph. He is over on Jedi Bills in the audience there.
Yeah, see that jerk. Let's see, Don says, so how much of a badass, well, that's how much of a badass Rambo was. He did the job of several people, all by his lonesome, saved billions of dollars for the U.S. And Trey says, do his customers get free goat with every computer purchase? That's a good question. That's the kind of question that YoZeph needs to come on here and answer. But instead, he's hanging out with Jedi Bill. Which I can understand. Jedi Bill's a nice, crazy man. And John DeMarco's here. How you doing, John? Hope you're well. So today, besides the fact that... So me and Mrs. are going to watch Dune later today while we are quarantining ourselves after our potential exposure to the virus. And then... but then we're also going to, I'm going to work on, why are you licking the microphone? I don't know if you can hear that.
No.
Okay, good. I didn't know if she was making noise on the microphone or not. She's so quiet, so don't.
Well, now I can hear it as she bites it.
Yeah. Yeah, don't bite the microphone. That's a bad thing.
Bite the beard.
No, don't bite the beard. She does like to bite the beard, though. So the and then I'm going to work on redubbing Star Trek 3. So I haven't decided what we should do. So maybe you guys can help me with this. So for movie night, should we bleep out like a censor bleep every time they say transwarp? So that, you know, Lore Reloaded is accurate. Should I put a little spinning Life with Matthew and have him say hi diddly ho every time they say
Don't do the hi diddly ho. That is so annoying.
well, that's the point. Yes, I know Squidward. I had a rat. You know, if they're, you know, if Chihuahuas were terriers, this would truly be a rat terrier. She's so tiny.
Do the censor beat.
And so, and then, or I could just awkwardly cut it so like it just jumps. You know, like, so like in that first scene when they're coming into space dock, you know, Sulu's like, so she's supposed to have drive.
There you go.
You know, like it's just, for some reason, it's just missing.
Why are you bleeping out transwarp?
Because there's an ongoing joke in the community, because this was several years ago. Lore Reloaded made the unfortunate mistake on one of his videos of saying, fun fact, they never actually say the word transwarp in Star Trek 3. That it only appeared on a console, that they didn't actually say the word transwarp. And so I immediately posted a video of every single time they say the word transwarp in the movie. Which there's like 6 different references to transwarp in the movie. And so since we're going to watch Star Trek 3 tomorrow night, I was thinking it would be fun to either bleep out or edit out every reference to transwarp, so that after the movie you can say, hey, funny story, they never said transwarp in the entire movie. And then even on the console, I could blur out the word transwarp.
Yeah, I guess do the transwarp thing then.
Put in random hot pictures of hot Kirstie Alley over the Excelsior. What is that? What are you talking? What? Weirdos. And let's see. The bleep is probably funnier because we can fill in the blanks. Lori isn't even going to watch it anyway. Yeah, I know, but I still think it'll be funny. Because, hey, trans.
Oh my, she's the first ship to have lore reloaded drive.
Like even like that first line with Sulu, she's supposed to have trans bleep.
You guys just watched Star Trek 2, right?
Yeah, we're watching them in order. So we watched Star Trek 2 last week. We're watching Star Trek 3 this week. But then next week, since it's Halloween weekend, we're going to watch The Happening.
Oh, God.
No. You should have watched Rocky Horror Picture Show. That would have sent Matthew over the edge.
I don't want to watch that movie.
But you want to watch The Happening.
Yeah. Geez.
Well, here's the funny thing, because you're going to not want to miss next week's movie night. Because I will tell you, and I am not kidding about this, I managed to fix it.
No, you can't fix it.
Oh, I didn't think it could be fixed either. And it's deceptively easy to fix because, what is M. Night Shyamalan, what was he known for? Like, what made his reputation? Why was he considered a good filmmaker briefly? Was
Signs.
Not the specific films. I mean, the twist ending, right?
Yeah.
If you look at his first couple of films, he had twist endings at the end, and it was like, ooh, very cool, right? And then that started to fall apart. And he started trying to put twists in that were just stupid. And with The Happening, there was no twist, really. You have Mr. Crazy Hot Dog Man. You remember Mr. Crazy Hot Dog Man? Hey,
Yes.
hot dogs get a bad rap. I like hot dogs. That guy, he's like midway through the film. He's like, he comes up with why the plants are attacking, and he's right. There's no twist, right? So I was like, how do we fix this movie? What this movie needed was a twist ending. And so I was working on it, and I was like, is there any way to edit this movie and create a twist ending? And I did it. And not only did I do it, I created a twist ending that makes I can't fix the bad acting. I got to give you that, but I created a twist ending that makes the entire movie terrifying.
It already is terrifying.
I mean terrifying within context of the actual universe, not terrifying because it's just so bad. So so I created a new twist ending to The Happening that actually makes the ending scary.
The riff tracks of it is pretty funny, but
I already know the twist ending.
Well, I don't want you to spoil it then.
It'll be
No, I don't want to
screen laughing.
Will you shut up? No, it's not Bird of Prey 5, but don't speculate. But no, that's not it. But don't speculate or anything because I don't want anybody to accidentally guess it. And
But that would be funny.
that would be, but no. But I don't want. But I changed the ending, very subtly, by the way. But it creates a twist ending that fixes the whole movie. And we'll see. So next week you're not going to want to miss that.
Unfortunately, I'll probably be in the field if it's not raining, so I will miss it.
You're going to be in the field that late?
The other night, I didn't get out of the field until 10:30.
Well, that's just when we're getting going.
Then I drive home and try to find something to eat. Yeah.
Well, have a hot dog.
Yeah.
Corn dog. A corn dog.
No, you got to have a hot dog. You know, hot dogs get a bad rap. They got a nice shape. He actually says that.
That movie's just bizarre. I actually saw that in the theater back then.
Yeah, so did we.
I was just like, this is bizarre. Because I was a big M. Night Shyamalan fan, but then after that, I'm like,
Hey,
maybe
kids, did you hear about the bees? What's up with the bees?
it's almost as bad as The Last Airbender.
Oh man, it's it's
You
almost.
ever listen to the riff tracks?
Oh yeah, I love the man. The riff tracks, they just kept going. Hot dogs, hot dogs through the whole movie.
So-
They just kept,
So do you have to have goat's milk with that hot dog?
yeah, hot dog and goat's milk. that's like, oh man, I bet you there's some nasty farts after that in Slovakia. I mean, do they make hot dogs out of goats?
Just leftover animal parts, so I
Right.
can't see why not. They wouldn't have
Who knows?
goat hot
Right,
dog.
you grind up goats and sheep to make your hot dogs, and then you drink goat's milk, and you drink a tall glass of goat's milk, and you put sheep cheese on your hot dog. Ugh,
Yeah, that sounds disgusting.
yeah. That's like YoZeph's dream meal right there.
With a side of Rocky Mountain oysters.
Right, yeah, one on each side of your hot dog.
Hot dog.
Your hot dog. But yeah, so that will be an event. So have we decided what we should do with the what should we do as far as removing the transwarp? Should we bleep, hi diddly ho, or just cut?
I say
Bleep.
bleep.
Or the
Yeah,
other thing we could do is reverse it so that it did she's supposed to have nyip drive, basically reverse the audio for it.
Oh yeah, they do say transwarp in Star Trek 3.
Well, yeah, they say it a bunch of times. All speeds available through transwarp drive, sir. It's one of the
It's
lines.
been a while since I've seen that one.
I can't wait till you get to the best Star Trek movie of all time, Star Trek V.
Yeah, definitely the best direction.
And remove. There we go. All right, so
You know, it's kind of confusing because I thought transwarp was created in the 24th century.
well, keep in mind that transwarp is just a term used for faster than warp. That's all transwarp
Yeah, like warp
means.
10, right?
No, it just means faster than warp. It would be like if I said, like, for example, transatlantic just means anything that can go across the Atlantic Ocean, right?
Mhm.
So if I said, oh, it's supposed to have transatlantic drive, what does that mean?
They can go really fast.
Well, it mean anything that can go across the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah.
So a transwarp drive is anything that can go faster than warp drive.
Mm-hmm. Because
So
the first time I heard the term was in that wonderful episode of Voyager, which I liked.
Threshold,
I thought it was interesting. Yeah, Threshold.
the Emmy Award-winning Threshold.
I mean, that's not how evolution works. I mean,
Yeah.
if anything,
No,
if
transwarp.
that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were saying break the transwarp barrier in that one because they were trying to figure out a way to do. Well, actually, they said to break the warp 10 barrier. They might have said break the transwarp barrier as well, but they, but in basically, transwarp can be any form of transportation that goes faster than warp drive. However, the idea would be that in with the Great Experiment, the Excelsior was the first ship equipped with transwarp drive, those big warp nacelles on it. And if you look at the console on the Excelsior, it actually specifically says it could go up to warp 77.
Cool.
That's
I didn't
actually
know that.
yeah. If you look on when we do movie night, look on the console and you'll see it there. It'll say warp 2 through 77. And so, if the Excelsior could go warp 77, then the obviously that's way faster than anything the Enterprise could do, right? Because the Enterprise on its best day could only do like warp 11 or so, like when the Kelvins did stuff to it. So, if warp 77 is now the new standard, then in the next generation era, that is now the new warp scale. So now they changed it, and that's why there's a different warp scale in next generation compared to the original series. Because they figure, why have everybody going warp? You know, we're going warp 37, we're going warp 39. No, they just changed it to a warp scale 1 through 10. And so 10 is infinite speed.
Oh, okay.
And so they eliminated the old warp scale and made 10 infinite, and the Excelsior changed it. But now anything that could break the warp 10 barrier would be the new transwarp.
You think you're going to do it in the new Star Trek?
I hope not. I think that's personally, I think it's stupid. I think that the infinite speed is first of all, you can't break infinite speed.
You can if you have ludicrous speed.
That's true.
Then you just
There we go. All right, so are you done with your stupidness?
no.
Mm.
I went plaid.
And I know that in All Good Things they did Warp 13, but that's an alternate timeline, so it doesn't count. That's the only thing you can say. In that particular alternate future, Warp 13 was a thing. Oh, and now Cinnabon shows up. Hey, Cinnabon.
Good morning.
Morning, Cinnabon.
Oh God, it's that pooper.
See, I told you.
DJ Odyssey ruining America's food supply.
That is true. I tell you, DJ is a
It's fertilizer.
Although, Cinnabon, in all fairness, don't rabbits just kind of poop everywhere they go?
Yeah, but not on food that I eat.
Are
I
you
didn't poop on the food. I pooped on the field.
which is on the food?
That's
No.
not what I heard. I heard the
It
corn
was already picked.
just covered in deeds.
Don't you then plant new food there?
Well, you spread fertilizer down on it anyway. I'm just helping.
It's just helping it grow.
He's helping the hot dogs.
No, not the hot dogs.
Yeah, because they're grown in fields.
Well, you know,
The food for the hot dogs.
DJ is a
grown in
soy
fields.
farmer, so
Oh,
No, that is Kurogan contracted out farmland.
so a soy boy.
yep.
No, that is
DJ
Walker's
is officially
35.
the soy boy of the nerd community.
I do not ingest any of that soy.
Deej, you are the soy boy. Not only that, but you're the poopy soy boy.
And this is why I don't stop my dumb jokes when they are presented to me, folks.
All I need is a wide field to poop on. Melville, and then
So you guys are talking about some transwarp?
Well, yeah, we were talking about Transwarp Drive being the how to bleep out all the references to Transwarp in Star Trek 3 for movie night tomorrow.
So you want to get rid of transwarp because you're transphobic.
No, I'm not transphobic, but I'm just trying to help out Lore Reloaded by making him more accurate.
And then he tried to say that there was nothing faster than infinite speed until I came up with ludicrous speed.
What is your deal with ludicrous speed?
Spaceballs?
Yeah, wrong franchise.
It's still funny.
Going to Plaid is pretty cool.
See?
No, it's not.
Watch it. He's booted me from the stream twice so far for making jokes like that.
Yes, because it's lame. And Diablo 2 is having issues today, pissing me off. I blame Deej for pooping on the fields.
I bet you wish my boss would hurry up and call back and tell me to head out to work.
Oh, I can kick you out anytime I feel like. I mean, I'm just waiting for YoZeph to show up.
He's not going to show up.
What, did you send him a message saying don't bother?
No, I'm just saying that he's over on another stream and he'll stay there.
I see how you are.
He's a bird groupie.
Yeah, he really does seem to have this strange, almost erotic attraction to bird. It is, I think it has something, because, now he is one of the very few people that has looked into the naked pictures of bird and survived.
I might just boot myself over that comment.
No, that's true. You do know about that, right?
I don't want to know about that.
It's true.
Yeah, you know about that, right, Cinnabon?
Yep, I was there.
Yeah. So
Really disturbing.
Yeah, so YoZeph is one of the very few people who has actually seen Bird's unclothed butt.
Oh, God.
Boy, I'm glad I didn't have breakfast.
And so, because, Bird, as you know, has been stuck in that hospital bed for over a decade. And because of situations like that, there's a little thing called bed sores. And Bird has some massive ones, and I've never seen them, and nor will I ever. If I ever get an email from YoZeph saying, "Hey, check out these pictures," I ain't opening it. But YoZeph has actually seen the pictures of Bird's butt. So he's seen Bird's butt riddled with bed sores. And
What happens when you drink too much goat milk?
Yeah.
Ruins your brain.
So, yeah, so drinking straight from the teat of a goat or a sheep is nothing compared to that. And in fact, I would dare say that you could talk about pooping in the fields all day long and then growing your soy, and he'd have no problem eating that soy. After seeing those pictures. And, he stared into the abyss. and Yes.
That's just too disturbing for me.
Yeah. And anyway, so the now what he could do, he could probably think about is if he got some goat cream cheese to smooth out some of the
Oh man, no! Damn it!
fill in some of the crevices, you know.
God.
Goat cream cheese, is that even a thing? I wonder. Is there
It's good for your skin.
yeah, goat cream cheese or sheep cream cheese? I don't know. But yeah, so you just smooth it. You know, kind of like what Dr. McCoy was describing helping the Horta out. I just troweled it in, you know. So, yeah, that's you know, with a little bit of editing, you could make it sound like Dr. McCoy is talking about Bird's butt.
I'm going to share something with you.
It's not a picture of Bird's butt, is it?
No, it's not a picture of Bird's butt, but it is a thing.
Well,
Goat's cream cheese.
oh, there is goat cream cheese. Okay. Well, there we go. So we have goat cream cheese from Zingerman's Creamery. Fresh in America. But we need, like, it needs to be Slovakian. So we can get it to YoZeph.
And they also make goat cream for arthritis.
Well, I'm still going to have arthritis. Because I'm not taking it.
And there's even a recipe on how to make goat cream cheese. 1 quart goat milk, 2 tablespoons cultured buttermilk, 1 drop liquid resin dissolved in 2 tablespoons of water. That's how you make goat cream cheese.
And no, Squidward, I am not a TERT, a transwarp exclusionary radical trekker. I'm just trying to figure out a good way to help Lore Reloaded feel better about his stupid mistake.
All right, well, I know I'm going to get a message anytime we go to work, so I'm going to bail so I can go grab me a piece of breakfast pizza from
All right.
Casey's. And
Well, enjoy your breakfast pizza, Deej, and just remember to think about Bird's bed sores with cream cheese. So yes, that's the thing. Bed sores with cream cheese. That's the theme today. So he saw Bird of Prey 5's butt and didn't go immediately. Apparently, Slovakians are a very sturdy people. That's the one thing I think we can take away from that. So I assume you have not seen the pictures, Cinnabon.
Oh.
Were you curious to see the pictures?
I was kind of curious, but
I decided against it.
Okay. So you were there though when YoZeph looked at him?
Oh yeah.
What was his initial reaction? Because I was not there when he first saw him.
I think he was pretty shocked. I don't really care. Wasn't like a huge reaction or anything. It was
Okay.
kinda,
He was just like, "Oh."
He's like, oh, that's a poster.
That's
Printed it out, threw it on his wall.
He has that picture up on his wall. He and his wife look at that before they go to bed every night.
Wife, can you please take that down? No.
Was I hearing things, or did Captain Freeman said warp me as her engage? You know, I think she did say that.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with that.
No.
Although now she's in jail. So, you know, sucks to be her. Of course, you know, she'll get a Kurogan trial, which means she's, like, already guilty.
Guilty till proven innocent.
Yeah. That's the Kurogan way.
Great society.
All right, so I got to bleep out all the trans warps. And then I'm trying to think of the... Oh, yeah, I am going to add one censored high diddly ho thing. Because, you know, if you've watched the... Have you guys been there for movie night with Matthew at all? I know Daniel has, but have you or Cinnabon?
No.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Hi, diddly ho. Hi, diddly ho.
Yeah.
I don't mind that.
So I usually use... So what I usually do is I have Matthew's face spinning in a circle and Matthew's voice going, hi, diddly ho, whenever there's nudity. So, like, if there's, for example, a woman's breast, then Matthew's face will be covering her breast, and it'll be spinning around, and you'll hear, hi, diddly ho, right? Just because it's silly. And so anytime there's nudity or something like that, something that would be a violation of YouTube terms of service to be seen. And so there is one scene in Star Trek 3 that clearly needs to be censored, and that is the hot, all on camera, straight up porno sex scene with two Vulcans.
Oh, the hand touching? That was
Yes.
disgusting.
Yeah. It's so as soon as they start touching the hands, I'm gonna put the face up and I'm gonna go, hi to Leo. So you know, because of course only people that watch movie night on a regular basis will understand why the face is there. Everybody else is gonna be like, why is there a face on the screen? So anyway, so what do you got going on this week, Bunny?
This week? Nah, nothing really at all.
You gonna be streaming at all or anything like that?
Yeah, I'll probably hang out here, and then once you're done, I'll probably jump on and play, finish playing Elite Force for a little while.
Very cool. That's the Voyager game?
Yeah, we were running around last night shooting Janeway.
Oh, cool. You were shooting Janeway?
Oh yeah, we're vaporizing her.
Wow. Kind of a dick move, but okay.
Well, you know, it's fulfilling our fantasy.
Okay, so there you go. Cinnabon is a misogynist.
Hey, no, we took out Chakotay too. So we were
and a racist.
Equal opportunity murderers last night.
So a misogynist and a racist. God.
Yeah.
Is Chakotay even human?
Well, yeah, he's Native American.
Oh, I thought he was like an alien.
No, he's a Native American, but we find out that his tribe was only really cool because they were inspired by aliens.
Oh, it's been a while since I've seen.
Yeah,
that show.
Aliens showed up and taught his tribe how to be one with the land.
And how to tattoo faces.
Yeah, apparently, how to tattoo their face. Because, you know, that's how aliens communicate, through facial tattoos. Which means that, boy, are they going to be happy when they come back to Earth now. I mean, so great, like, you know, you see a flying saucer land on the White House and a bunch of gray aliens come down with, like, prison tats on their face. And a bunch of teardrops under their big gray eyes.
Oh my God, those aliens killed a lot of people.
You know, like with the flying saucers flying overhead, you're going to hear.
They're all ghetto.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. That's just where we go with this.
I've never understood the facial tattoos.
Well, it's just your way of saying, hey, world, I don't want to ever have a job. That's but the only way to make that a little more clear is to get a neck tattoo. Like my new next door neighbor, nice guy, honestly. He's a genuinely nice guy. I've only talked to him a couple of times, but he has a tattoo of a spider web across his neck. And I'm like, unless you have a beard like mine, bad idea. You
It
know.
sounds like that's got to be one of the worst places to get tattooed too. That's kind of.
Oh yeah, just like
Yeah.
I think the only reason to get a tattoo there is just to prove you can do it.
It's gotta be.
And it's like, yeah, no, thank you. You know, I'll take the loss. You know, you win. You know, you've got a higher pain threshold than me. But you know, I do have a tattoo on the back of my neck, but it's, you know, hidden by my hair.
Oh my god, didn't that hurt? Like going over the spine?
Not as bad as you would think. What's worse was my calf.
Yeah, I heard that's terrible.
Oh man.
That and like if you do like right on your sternum too, I heard that's horrible too.
I don't have anything on my sternum, so I couldn't say. But yeah, on my calf, I actually have I don't have any pictures of it. I'd show you, but I have on one calf, I have the Scotsman from Samurai Jack. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. And on the other calf, I have Samurai Jack. So that if I stand with my legs together, the two of them are standing back to back. Okay, and so basically ready to fight. And it's actually a really cool tattoo. The guy that did wonderful work. And but the problem is now, you know, both of them are standing with their swords at the ready. And so the swords go all the way up to right behind the knee. Okay, so that little divot in the back of your leg, right, is the very tip of the sword. And that made me cry. I'm not even kidding. I was, you know, my wife was sitting there, you know, just about dying. You know, she was like ready to laugh at me because I am sitting there on the tattoo table, tears running down my face while he's trying to do the outline of the sword up my leg, and I mean, because that was rough. Oh man. So, would not you know, people that do like full leg sleeves and stuff? I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah, but yeah. So basically, it would be as if you and I were standing back to back with swords.
That's actually cool.
Yeah. Except that I'm a little fatter than the Scotsman, and you're a little skinnier than Samurai Jack. You know.
Yeah, I always thought tattoos were kind of cool, but I've never gotten one just because I'm just way too indecisive.
Well, yeah, you don't want to do one if you're not sure, because they are kind of, you know, for life.
Yeah, I'd be one of those guys that get it, think it's cool for like a week.
You get like a pink unicorn and
a giant unicorn on my chest. Check it out, guys.
They'd be like, really?
What? It's cool. It's badass.
You get like one of the Care Bear symbols on your chest.
Yeah, on your stomach.
Don't you get it? I'm Friendship Bear. They'd be like, really, Cinnabon? Yo, no, it's awesome.
What are you doing? Put the phone down. Stop calling the police.
Hey, maybe you're a brony.
What did the Scotsman scream all the time going into battle? Oh, usually things like Blarthit, Milk Tatty. His 30-second insult is like one of the greatest insult of all time.
I've never seen Samurai Jack.
You've never seen Samurai Jack, really?
No.
Did you watch The Mandalorian?
The first season.
Okay, same thing, but with a samurai.
Okay.
I'm absolutely serious. Exact same thing. What's that, Daniel?
Gotta get back to the past.
Oh, yeah.
Samurai Jack.
Let's see.
I love that show back on YTV back in like the early 2000s. But it never had a really good. It didn't have a good ending. It didn't end, did it? It just ended on.
No, they actually did a they did a Adult Swim follow-up season that was the final season, and it did resolve the story.
Oh.
So yes, it is officially they did solve it. So here is the greatest insult in the history of history. I'm gonna let's see. We want audio. You guys ready for this? This is like the best insult ever. All right.
Think of that, Mr. Pajama wearing, basket face, slipper wielding, Clyde Street buckle, gather up and blade maw, blithering gomerel, Jesse off looking stoner, near fluky sand milk drinking, soy face, show pit, min moved, sniveling worm-eyed, hooting block, vile stooching calibrate tatty.
You get all that?
Oh no.
Yeah.
YoZeph's _ goat $3. Milk me, salty.
The damn Scott.
YoZeph's goat donated $3 and says, "Milk me." Well, YoZeph's goat, you should come on up if that's truly who you are. Let's see.
And someone finally spelled YoZeph right too. A Y and a Z.
See, I promised YoZeph that I would spell YoZeph differently every single time. So the insult is, you ready? This is the actual insult that he says. What do you think of that, Mr. Pajama wearing, basket face, slipper wielding, Clyde deep bratch, gather up blat mall, blethering, gomeal, Jesse, off looking, sconer knife, pluky shan, milk drinking, soy faced, shiplet mimmuth, sniveling, worm-eyed, hoothen, vile scoot, clanting, breek tatty.
Makes sense.
Yes. Which apparently is all actual insults in like Gaelic or whatever. And so this one person like broke it down on like what it is. Like, so pajama wearing, obviously insulting his samurai outfit. Basket face was insulting his straw hat. Slipper wielding was insulting his shoes. Clyde dreep back from the gutter out of it, or as his last straw. Gutter up blathmall, which means mama's boy. Blethering, speaking a load of crap. Gromnil means a dog. Jesse means a pansy or sissy. Schooner means a half pint or short person. Naif means out of date. Pluky means dumbass or stupid looking. Shan says person who speaks and comes from an ethnic minority, so it's actually an ethnic slur. Milk drinking means a guy who can't handle his drink. Soy-faced, insulting him as an Asian stereotype. So, sorry about that. So
never been called soy face.
Yeah, so if I ever call you soy face, Cinnabon, that's Minmuth means small speaker, not big with his words, or speaks submissively, which actually is a fair description of the way that Samurai Jack speaks. Sniveling, complainers, or moans about stuff. Worm-eyed, small-minded, can't see. Hootenblock, waste of space. Vile scooch is dirty or unclean. And Kali bleak tatty means extremely lazy or can't lift a finger. So every bit of that insult actually breaks down. But there are several actual ethnic slurs in the Scotsman's insult.
And let me guess. After that, Samurai Jack kills him.
Actually, I will say this. After that is the single most epic battle in the entire series. Because Samurai Jack, Samurai Jack has a magic samurai sword. that is designed specifically to be the only weapon that can slay the evil demon Aku. The Scotsman has a magic claymore. And the two of them, the Scotsman is the only warrior in all the land who is Jack's equal. And so they fight to a standstill for a good 10 minutes. And it's an epic battle. So, yeah.
But do you think Samurai Jack understood the insult?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I definitely think he understood. And I see you there, YoZeph, so you need to come onto the panel, buddy. I was about to wrap up the stream, but if you come on here, we'll talk for a minute. You soy-faced milk tatty. What do you think of that, Mr. Pajama-wearing, basket-face... Oh, I can't do it like he does. But yeah. And after that, the funny thing is, and later on, the Scotsman shows up a couple more times. He's one of the very few characters that is reoccurring on Samurai Jack. So later on, the Jack is doing his thing. Okay, you're taking calls today. I understand. And the Scotsman shows up and tells Jack that Jack is the only man that the Scotsman has ever met that was his equal, and he was looking for someone that could help him because the queen of his land has been captured, and so they go on this quest to rescue the fair maiden of his lands, and they go on this whole quest to rescue this beautiful queen, and it turns out that she is such a she is the more powerful than him as a fighter. She's also like twice his size, and so it's absolutely hilarious. And so then Jack runs into a situation that he can't handle, and he gets the Scotsman to help him again. And so the two of them actually are very, very good friends. So there you go, Samurai Jack and the Scotsman. I absolutely. So that means that basically, Cinnabon, you and I should be friends. And yes, she was very fugly, but unlike my wife, who is definitely not fugly, but she will kick your butt if you piss her off. So you should dress up as Samurai Jack.
I was thinking about doing that for Halloween this year.
You could. You could do a Samurai Jack.
Either that or like the stupid the one from Picard. What's his name?
Oh, Elnor?
Yeah.
You know what you should do is dress up like do one of those half and half costumes. Do Elnor on one side and Elrond on the other. And even do two different sets of ears. Right. One elf ear or one Vulcan ear, and yeah. And yeah, I think that'd be cool. Elnoron.
Yeah, I was thinking about, but I don't know if I'm gonna actually give out candy this year.
Why? You gonna be a jerk?
Oh yeah, 'cause I'm one of those just horrible neighbors that don't like children, that don't like kids.
Well, then here's what you do: mess with them. Like, right now, let me ask you this: so, the kids in your neighborhood, what's the ethnic mix of your neighborhood?
Oh God, it's turned really high Somalian actually.
Mostly Somalian?
Yeah, it's weird.
Okay. So what's the percentage then of Asian? Are you like the only Asian person on the block?
I think there's maybe one more who lives right by me.
Okay. So then here's what you do. First of all, you're going to have to conspire with the other Asian person on your block just to make sure that they're okay with this. And get yourself one of those cheap samurai swords that you can buy. And then when they come to the door, you like have the put a little rope on the door so you can hit a thing and have the door open up, and then have like a bunch of candles and be and be sitting there on a stool with the sword in your hands, and then be like muttering in like vaguely Asian sounding language. And they'd be, oh, is it not the hawk? And you're like you're just standing there with the sword and have a basket of candy at your feet, and see if they're brave enough to come and get the candy.
Oh, I'm sure they would. And some of the kids around here are just jerks, man.
Mm.
Look, I did.
Well, then you kill them.
Years I lived in this house, I did full size, the full size candy bars or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and I would just leave them out in a giant bin so they could just come and get it. Wouldn't have to constantly ring the doorbell. And the first year went fine. Second year, when it was, I swear, I mean, it sounds bad to say it, but it was right after all of them. It was like they like 7 or 8 Somalian families moved in. And that was
So you're racist, is what you're saying?
Yeah, well, pretty much. they don't care. It's mean to say, but they're just rude people. The people that moved in, it's just ridiculous. Anyway, their kids stole my candy the second year. Then the third year, they stole my candy again. Like literally 10, 15 minutes after I put it out. So I decided, forget it. You guys don't deserve candy anymore.
So what we learned today is that Cinnabon hates Somalian refugees.
It's not...
That's what we've learned.
Man. I just don't understand why some of the people that moved in have to be just so rude.
So Cinnabon hates Somalians.
I do. That sounded very intolerant, but
you are very intolerant. I wouldn't.
I try.
It's funny. You wouldn't think it, but it's true that it seems that the most racist people are the people who shouldn't be racists. It's just one of those things. It's like, you got some redneck go, wow, man, that is just intolerant. That is just wrong. Isn't that right, Jim Bob? You got that right, Jackie Joe. Let's go on down and get married like we was planning on. That's right. We're going to get us a gay wedding. That's you're just so intolerant. That's just.
What was it last week? So there's a bunch of kids that ride their bikes in the parking lot. They're not supposed to, by the way, and shit. But anyway, some kid left their bike in the road. I didn't see it when I was coming home, so I ran over the damn thing.
You ran over the kids.
So I had their mom and I had the mom come over to my house and start bitching at me for a good half an hour about it, trying to get me to pay for the bike. I'm like, I'm not paying for the fucking bike. You left it in the middle of the road. What am I? And like, it was dark out. I didn't see it. I'm sorry.
That's not your fault.
For a bike that you should not, leave laying in the street.
Yeah. That's their fault.
Right.
That was fun.
And so, did she sue you?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they were standing right outside.
So she is suing you.
Oh no, she's not. Oh, not. Did she see me? I thought you said see me.
No, I said, should she sue you?
No.
Sue. Yeah, I know. I know you're Asian. Sue, not see. Did she sue you? Did she sue?
No sue. No sue.
So, that was wrong. I'm sorry. Oh man, getting into all the stereotypes. She looked like a man. Because now the interesting thing about that is that depending on, like, if the bike had reflectors, you could be seen partially at fault. But I doubt that you would not be fully culpable for that.
No.
I mean, at most, like something like that, you'd probably be seen, depending on the state you're in, you'd probably be seen like 10% at fault at most. Like if she bothered to sue you in small claims, if the value of the bike was $100, the judge would probably find you liable for like $10.
Oh, I'm sure. I was like,
yeah.
Well, I was because she wanted something like $300 or something to buy a new bike. I was like, look, put in an insurance claim.
Yeah. And even then, it's the problem is that if she tried to take you to court, the judge is going to say, okay, you don't get replacement costs, you get the value of that bike.
Right.
And that bike's not a $300 bike. That's a $100 bike that's 5 years old, so it's a $20 bike, and he's only 10% responsible, so you get $2.
Yep.
Congratulations. And by the way, you just spent $75 to file this court, so you spent $75 to get $2 from him. You know, that's why you know it would be a waste of time to go to small claims for something like that.
Yeah. Although I would go on Judge Judy.
Oh, I would go on Judge Judy in a heartbeat, just because it would be hilarious.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. I'd be just like, yeah, Judge Judy, I ran over the bike.
That would too.
What's your defense? They left it in the street.
Mm-hmm. Man, I used to watch that show all the time before I started coming on YouTube.
I remember I saw a comedian, and they were so right about it. Is that everybody would come on that show with a manila folder with all sorts of paperwork, and they would have everything in the world except for the frickin' receipt.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, all she would ever want is the receipt. You know, show me what you paid for that thing.
Yeah.
You know, and they would have everything else.
Everything else.
Yeah. And it's like, well, they destroyed this. Great. How much did you pay for it? Well, I paid. No, show me. How much did you pay for it? Well, no, you need to show me how much you paid for it. You know, it's like in court, you don't get to just, oh, yeah, we paid about. No, you need to show. But people don't understand that that's not, court isn't, oh, it's about this.
Yep.
No. But yeah, you, so she thought you should just buy her a bike, huh?
Yeah. That's not happening.
So you're just a jerk kind of neighbor.
I'm the old man that's always yelling at people to get out their line.
Old man. How old are you? Like
22.
You're not 42.
Yep. Sure
Serious?
Yeah.
Dang.
I know I act like I'm like 10, but
I guess Asian don't crack either, huh?
no. And I mean, like one of these days I'll wake up and I'll be almost completely bald.
Well, you see, that's the Asian curse.
It is.
Is that Asian people don't age, and then one day they age all at once.
Yeah. It's weird.
You think I'm joking, Alex? It's 100% true. Like you'll see some Asian woman that's like absolutely beautiful, and you'll think, oh man, I hit the jackpot, because you're going to go out with her, and she's like, you know, and she's like beautiful when she's 20, and then you know she's like, you start dating her, you marry her, she's 40 years old and she looks like she's 20, and you're like, man, I hit the jackpot. She's 50 years old, she looks like she's 25, you're like, oh, this is awesome. She's 60 years old, she looks like she's maybe 30, and you're like, oh, this is so great. She's 61 years old, she looks like she's 350.
Yeah.
you know, it just happens one day. You know, it's just,
we start decomposing while we're alive.
Yeah, it's crazy. So that's an Asian trait. I don't know how they do it, but they have something. They made some kind of deal with the ancient gods or something where they do all their aging in 1 year.
I think so.
Yeah.
I have a buddy of mine that I hadn't seen for about a year, and I saw him last year, and he used to have like almost as much hair as I did and whatnot. You know, you couldn't see like really any wrinkles in his face. See him a year later, he looks like he's literally like 100 years old now. It's like, what the hell happened to you?
Is that what you said?
It's only been a year.
I'm sure he felt great about you saying that. Hey, Bob. Hey, oh my God.
I just walk him to a mirror. Look at you. What happened?
That's just horrible. And no, I haven't been hanging out about Matthew. See, the difference is that when I talk about racial stereotypes, I only speak the truth.
Oh,
Matthew is just straight up. He's just a racist. You know, and Matthew does it out of hate. Yeah, there's a difference. Matthew is like he's got. What you don't see is that when Matthew's not live streaming, every single outfit that he has includes a brown shirt.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of
Which he
people
good steps in.
Yeah. It's so funny because Matthew, he's got that like perfect Boy Scout face that you just could see in like Uncle Adolph's Youth Corps.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, you're talking about Cinnabon? No. Cinnabon's a good guy. He's speaking truth there. He knows about the evils of the Somalis.
I mean, Trace, it's weird, you know, 'cause I was adopted, so I'm weirdly racist against my own people.
So what were your parents?
They're white.
Okay. So they hated Asian people?
My grandparents.
Yeah, that's why they adopted one.
My grandparents just were not happy when my parents decided to adopt.
Oh, I will tell you, Alex, the funny thing about white people that adopt minority kids, a lot of the times they do it out of this weird you know, I'm not speaking for Cinnabon's parents. They may be the best white people ever. So this is not an indictment of Cinnabon's mom and dad. But a lot of the times white people will adopt them out of some kind out of like guilty white liberalism. And so they will, and so there's this weird level of ignorance that comes into it, and they try to kind of indoctrinate the kids into being white liberals.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot.
And yeah, I don't know if I'm even phrasing it well, but you know what I'm saying, Cinnabon?
Yeah, they're like white leftists. Yeah.
Right, but they're trying to make the kids into white leftists, and there is a difference between letting the kids be like, for example, if a black kid needs to know what their culture is, and by the way, and forgive my ignorance because I don't know the nuances of, for example, Asian hair and stuff like that, but I know with black kids, you know, there's a difference with hair and stuff like that white people don't know, and they're just, you know, blissfully ignorant of. And so if they don't bother to learn that stuff, they end up just like not taking care of it or just shave it off or whatever. And you know, that's when you get these kids that just look awful. And so and then these kids grow up thinking that you know, everybody just, you know, needs to be whatever they identify as.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, but no, you are what you are. You don't get to you know, like, you know, Cinnabon, you know, all kidding aside, you know, and I joke about how epic looking you are. I think you should have a camera on because you've got a face that needs to be on camera. and I absolutely mean that because you do have an epic look to you. But you know, you've got that awesome hair. You've got those chiseled Asian features, and you should be on camera. and I'm not saying that just to flatter you. I think that you should be, but I think that the people that but you are Japanese and Korean, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you don't get to identify as white. You know,
right,
because you are Japanese and Korean, and hopefully,
weirdly, I did for quite a while when I was a kid, though.
Did your parents just say, "Oh, you can be whatever you want"?
Well, no, it's just weird because I never really thought about it because I was always just around white people, right? Mm-hmm. And so, and the neighborhood I grew up in, there was maybe one or two other minorities. There was a black girl that lived down around us, and then there was another. I think there was another Asian kid that lived around us too. So I mean, I didn't have very much exposure to minorities at all, and so sometimes it was you just look in the mirror and be like, "What the fuck, man?" You have to remind yourself that you actually do look different than everybody else. Right. It's kind of weird.
Well, and like I remember my next door neighbors. very nice family, but they adopted a kid who was just looking at him, I would guess that he was either Indian or Pakistani descent.
Mhm.
And I asked him once when we were young, what was he? And he said, well, my parents said I could be whatever I wanted. And this was back in the frickin' 70s. This isn't like today when we expect that kind of crap.
He's transracial.
Yeah, and it's like, no, it doesn't work that way. And this kid should have an idea of where he comes from.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wasn't there like that white lady who identified as black?
Oh man, my wife wanted to punch her so hard.
Hey, I mean, come on.
Yeah, the whole identify thing to me is just ridiculous.
So Eric wants to know if your parents taught you about your culture.
They did. I mean, when I started becoming more curious about it, they started to. So it wasn't like anything. They weren't like hiding it ever, but it just wasn't something we really ever talked about until like I actually brought it up. I was probably around like 10 or 12 or so. I started actually being more curious about actually where I came from. And then when I went through, and I was like 13, I remember going through kind of a shitty phase where I was like, "You're not my real parents." It was weird.
Yeah, but you could say I have whole genres of films that are based on my culture. Granted, Star Trek, you always got to be Sulu. But
I fucking hated Sulu.
I bet you did.
Oh my! I could not stand Sulu. I think it's because the first episode I ever saw Sulu was in Naked Time.
Oh,
running around shirtless when just oiled up and with a stupid sword. I was like, oh my god, it's terrible.
Oh yeah, he fences, right?
Yeah. Well, and that was a funny thing because George Takei specifically, they originally they were going to have him run around with a katana, and George Takei said, "Hey, why can't I have a different kind of sword? Because having a katana is a stereotype." And then, of course,
a manly sword, you woman.
But then the funny thing is, later in like Day of the Dove, he's running around with a katana.
Yeah.
It's like
they did it anyway.
Yeah. And in Shore Leave, watch out, Captain! A samurai is after me. It's like, dude, either embrace your culture or don't.
Right.
And I think, I think that I would have no problem with him running around with a katana. And in fact, I think the fact that, like Scotty, granted, yeah, he was a lush, but he loved his Scotch. He's very proud of his Scottish history. Everybody on the ship with their ethnicity, right. it was a big part of them. So having Sulu running around with a katana would not have been an offense.
I don't think so. I think it would actually make more sense that you would be interested in his ancient culture.
Right.
And not in the fencing, which makes zero sense.
Right. Oh, I am D'Artagnan. Oh, my. That made no sense whatsoever, especially since every time we saw him later, he was into his Japanese culture.
Yeah.
And of course, then again, in Star Trek 4, San Francisco, I was born there. That best line ever.
So are you saying all Scotsmen are drunks?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Have you? Do you not know any Scotsmen?
Well, I'm part Scottish, so.
Well, then you're only partially a drunk.
Well, yeah.
Look, I'm Scotch-Irish, and I keep this with me at all times.
It's a good idea.
All right, so. So yeah, so a Scotsman without alcohol is like a Irishman without alcohol.
Right.
See?
They they'll just fall apart without it.
Yeah. And actually, Springtime Dune is out today on HBO Max.
Oh, did that come out in the theater too?
It comes out tomorrow in theaters.
Okay.
So this is a full remake of the Dune, or what?
Yes, but my understanding is, and this is the one thing I'm not real happy about, but I understand it. It's only part 1, and part 2 is not a guarantee.
That's dumb.
Yeah. I mean, but the first book is so thick,
Right.
like they cut it in half, which makes sense. But hopefully, it makes money. So
Right, and the reason is because I understand Warner Brothers was like, yeah, this is a massive undertaking, and so we don't want to bankroll part 2 unless we know it's going to make money.
I think they should have just shot it all back to back because you can save money by doing that.
I agree, but apparently they decided to not do back-to-back because they wanted to see if part 1 was going to actually play.
I mean, Dune's kind of a really niche sci-fi, isn't it?
Well,
kind of. I mean, the book's popular, but it's not like Star Wars.
There's many people talk about it, nearly as much as anything else.
Yeah.
So.
It's not like
yeah.
Star Wars or something.
Let's see. It premieres at 6 p.m. Eastern today.
Yeah, I may go see it this weekend.
Yeah, so we're me and the missus are going to watch it today on HBO Max.
I've only seen part of the one with
the David
Stewart in it.
Yeah, I will tell you, I love the David Lynch one, but this is only half of that story.
Okay.
And
I did like the new one that Sci-Fi Channel made years ago. The Children of Dune or whatever. I enjoyed that, but that's the only Dune I've seen.
So I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also not looking forward to only getting half the story. However, the idea that and what this filmmaker wants to do, and so if this movie is good, let's support it, people, which means watch it multiple times on HBO Max. If you're healthy and you can, see it in the theaters, and if you can, see it in theaters multiple times. Let's support it if it's good, because if it is good, they want to make this into a franchise. All right, they want to make the entire Dune series. But they're only going to do it if it makes money.
Yeah.
And so, but we gotta show the love. Let's not be the Phantom Menace. Let's not bitch about the fact that Zendaya's in it or whatever. Let's just, watch it, see if the main chick that's in it.
What, they don't like that?
Oh, a lot of people in the Phantom Menace don't like her because she was in the Spider-Man films.
Oh.
I
haven't seen those.
Yeah, but and one of the trailers focuses in on her too much. Even though she's a major part of the story, it's like
I've read the book. She's
that's the thing. If you've read the books, she's half the story. It's not.
The story's still going to be whatever Prince Atreides or
Paul Atreides is the main character, but she's like his wife. It's not like she's not a major character. But yes, so it comes out tonight on HBO Max at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Hopefully it's good.
I am really excited. I am definitely going to be watching it at 6 p.m. Eastern, assuming HBO Max doesn't explode when it comes out. I'm hoping HBO Max does explode, to be honest, like it did when Zack Snyder's Justice League came out. Because that will be a good sign if it does. I want to see the theaters make money this weekend. But I want to see. And by the way, Dave Bautista looks awesome.
Yeah.
Let's hear it for Dave Bautista getting something other than Drax. And what's his name? That's the Baron Harkonnen.
He's like a Swedish actor, I think. Right.
But I was really surprised to see that it was him when I saw.
He's a good actor.
When I saw who it was, let's see.
Isn't he in the Avengers? The first one.
I gotta look it up here. I'm bringing up the. I. It's kind of weird. I have to hold my one arm on my speaker at all times in order to hear anything right now. I ordered a new speaker in order. Yeah, Stone Sarsgaard. He's the guy that was the crazy scientist in Thor, and yes, he was in the first Avengers. He's Thor's buddy. Selvig. He was Professor Selvig in the Thor movies. So he's in it. He looks awesome. Josh Brolin is Gurney. That was Patrick Stewart's part in the original. Jason Momoa's in it. They have got an incredible cast. And so, I am really, really looking forward to seeing what they're going to do here. Oscar Isaac as Duke Atreides.
Yeah, that's pretty good casting.
Yeah. I am just excited. And so I mean, just looking at this cast, I don't see a single person that I'm like, that could have been better. But Dave Bautista as the Beast Harkonnen, you could not pick a better person. But I'm just so disappointed that they don't have a replacement for Sting. I will kill him. That was like his entire part. I will kill him
with his shirt off.
Yeah. It's like, what was even the point? I think, was that just a made up part for?
I don't remember. It's been a while since I read the book.
Yeah,
but the David Lynch movie, it's okay. I mean, I think that movie, it's like if you haven't read the book, it's kind of hard to tell what's going on.
Trace says, if you sneeze at HBO Max, it will explode. Their app and service is awful. Well, I have not had any problem. I don't use first of all, I do not watch HBO on my smartphone. Okay.
Please don't watch Dune on your smartphone.
Yeah. Come on. I watch, I watch everything on I have an Apple TV. That's how I watch stuff. But the smartphone, the only thing I do with that is call people, text people, look things up. But Sting was Freed, who was a character in the book. Well, I don't see that in the casting. It could be that he's not in part 1. Because just let me see all cast and crew. Let's look at Paul Atreides, Duncan, Conan Trooper, female Fremen, blah blah blah, Harkonnen Guard. Yeah, it does not. Yeah, it looks like Freed is not in at least part 1, so maybe he's someone that will only be in part 2.
Huh.
Which is fine. I mean, I'm not gonna complain about that. And Indy, I disagree. I like the David Lynch movie. I know maybe part of it, and I never read the books. But so I don't know. Some people hated it. Some people loved it. So
it's okay.
Yeah,
I'd say.
I have an Apple TV as well. I also have used their Android TV app. It's just been strangely flaky. I've never had a problem with HBO Max, except for occasionally it crashes, but I just restart Apple TV and it's fine. I mean, I wouldn't say it's terrible, but it crashes a little bit more than your average app. But, and yeah, my wife watches YouTube on TV all the time. But I'm usually plopped right in this chair right here. This is where I spend the majority of my day. But I am really, really looking forward to Dune. I will be talking about it tomorrow. What I'll probably be doing tomorrow is I will do another morning yak's milk with YoZeph or something. And so see if that'll get his attention. And so we'll do a morning milk with YoZeph tomorrow, and we'll talk about Dune, and then tomorrow night, of course, we have I'm really looking forward to tomorrow night doing the Jeopardy and movie night, and regardless of whether I got COVID or not, I will still be there, sick as a dog or healthy as a horse. My friend that I've been bugging about it, that's the denier and crazy, he has finally broken down, and he's going to get a COVID test today because he's still feeling sick. And he's going to let me know the results after he gets the test. But hopefully I don't have it, but I am feeling a little under the weather, which that makes me very nervous considering that I was only around him for a few hours for dinner yesterday. So, yeah. Anyway, but hopefully Dune is going to rock. That's all I can say. The trailer, I think, looks great.
I mean, that director's pretty good. So
yeah, he did the Blade Runner sequel, right?
Yeah.
Which I liked. I think that the biggest problem with the Blade Runner sequel was just that it was unnecessary. It was like, it wasn't that it was bad. It was just like, do we really need that?
Yeah, it was okay. Blade Runner original's much better.
Yeah, it did feel like we were in that same world, though. And that was amazing. I mean, it was very beautifully shot. It was very well made, and I felt like, wow, I feel like I'm back in the Blade Runner world. But I also felt like, why am I here? Do I feel a compelling reason to be here? And unfortunately, I just never felt like I feel like I need to be here. And that, I think, was the biggest problem with that movie. Now, I'm looking at the rest of his movies. Let's see. He directed an episode of Cosmos. They are in pre-production for Dune Part 2, as well as a TV series of Dune the Sisterhood, which I assume would be an HBO Max series. And then Cleopatra.
Dune the Sisterhood. That's going to make the Phantom Menace just lose their shit.
Oh, yeah, you know it. It's gone woke already.
Exactly. The title's woke.
Yeah, but the problem is that, do they not, if they want to get upset about it, then they obviously have never looked at the books,
Yeah. That's probably about the, what is it, the Bene Gesserit?
Yeah, that's what it says. TV series set in the Dune universe, which centers on the Bene Gesserit.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, which makes sense. But it doesn't say anything about it. And it only says that he is directing the pilot episode, and that he will be an executive producer on the entire series.
That's on HBO Max?
Yes, it is HBO Max's Dune the Sisterhood, so it will not be a little kids series.
I agree with Stan. We do need, probably not anymore, but Rome was one of my favorite shows on HBO.
What show?
Rome.
I liked the first season a lot.
Yeah, me too. The second was...
Yeah, then it went downhill fast, though. And unfortunately, I think that's an unfortunate trend on a lot of these shows, is someone will come up with a great idea for a season, and then they're like, oh crap, you want another season? More sex. That'll do it.
Right. It
Well,
just
you know,
felt,
ancient Rome.
the second season felt like they just tried to compress way too much into the season.
Right.
I remember they were talking when it was on that they were good, that they had planned for a third season. And a lot of like the I think the Battle of Philippi was supposed to be a lot bigger and whatnot. But...
Stanley, this one is not his hand that he puts in the box. And the shadow says, "Who knows what? Who knows the terror of men? It's who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men." What do you mean, who knows the terror of men? Maybe that's an old version of the shadow that I don't know, that predates me. Good to see you, Shadow.
But the one thing I was going to say is, I mean, if they did a sequel for Rome, I mean, it'd probably be terrible, like the wrap-up movie for Deadwood was. That was horrible.
I haven't seen it.
I didn't watch that yet.
I was so excited for that after 10 years, and then it was just one of the worst movies I ever
Really?
saw.
That sucks.
Deadwood was basically a retry of the Trixie story from when she killed when she shot Hearst.
And Stanley, please do not mention the shot. Please, 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 please. I know you're not saying anything bad, but we're not talking about it at all. Because, you know, in the words of Admiral Morrow, consider it what is it? A quarantined planet and a forbidden subject. You know, it's just too. Don't even want to deal with it.
So by the way, what happened to the Mutara Nebula? I mean, that's obviously not.
It was absorbed by the Genesis device.
Yeah. So did the nebula condense into the ship that turned into the planet?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never understood that.
It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Physics just don't work.
Right.
But you know what you can say? Proto-matter.
Right, yeah.
You know. Because that makes sense. Because somehow a small nebula plus, I would guess, the regular one space lab and the planetoid there and the mass of the Reliant, all that condensed to become the Genesis planet.
I always imagine the Reliance just the core of the planet.
Yeah. I know, you know, I always thought, hey, couldn't Khan still be alive if Spock is still alive?
That's true. They could have regenerated inside the planet.
Yeah. And like, shouldn't you could have Khan's face floating around like God in Star Trek 5? Yeah. You know, and it's okay, Stan. I'm not mad. I just want to, you know, I just make sure. And you didn't say anything bad that would get me in trouble. I just want to make sure that anytime somebody mentions it, that I put the kibosh on it before the conversation goes anywhere. I think the remake of BSG was a similar story. Ordered a miniseries and was ordered TV show because it was But the difference was that Ronald Moore had a concept of what to do with the show if they ordered it. Like Ronald Moore, the miniseries was him trying to sell them a series. Like he knew what he wanted to do. And when Sci-Fi said, "Yep, do it," he already had a plan. But with a lot of these shows, they do a season and they think that's going to be it, and then they say, "Okay, give us a season 2," and they're like, what? Do Romulans have the same lifespans as Vulcans? Wow, that's racist. I mean, really. I mean, that's like, hey, do Koreans have the same lifespans as Japanese?
No.
Oh, dang.
Come on roofs and get shot at.
I guess it depends if you live in North or South Korea.
Right. Well, you know what I mean. Shut up.
Well, do we think Romulans do the Ponfar thing?
Yeah, well, Romulans are different than Vulcans.
Well, the Ponfar is not it's interesting because the Ponfar is not really a genetic trait as much as a result of repression of emotion.
That's true. Yeah. Well, I just thought it would be weird because if Romulans were, you know, had were having kids in normal generationals lengths, I mean, you'd think that, and they had a lifespan the same as a Vulcans, you'd think they'd have major population problems.
Well, true, but maybe the Romulans are see, and this is where we get into the whole problem with the way that TNG did the Romulans compared to the way that TOS did the Romulans. The Romulans and TOS were very much creatures of duty, so they would not have children unless it was their duty to do so.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And so they would have the appropriate number of children as to do their duty for the Empire. And which
I was kind of thinking about that the other night for some reason. Oh yeah, I was watching that TOS episode where it was that planet where there were just people just on top of people.
Yeah, Mark of Gideon.
Yeah, I was like, well, maybe the Romulans should be like that by now.
And it's like, and I argue about the scale of the Romulan Empire too. Like in TOS, the Romulan Empire appears to only be 2 planets. And
wait, really?
Yes.
But in TNG, it's pretty big though.
Yeah, in TNG, they seem to think that the Romulan Empire is up there as one of the big 3. Like, but in TOS, you'll notice, like in Balance of Terror, which was the first episode to feature the Romulans, the opening log from Kirk was that the neutral zone, and keep in mind that was the first time the neutral zone was mentioned, and the only time the neutral zone was mentioned in the original series. The only time the neutral zone was, I'm sorry, there was only a Romulan neutral zone in the original series. There's no Klingon neutral zone, unlike in Star Trek II. Anyway, the neutral zone, which was mapped out in the initial captain's log, he said that the neutral zone was there to separate the planets Romulus and Remus from the rest of the galaxy. Not
yeah, but that was kind of weird because the map didn't like have that neutral zone line go all the way around. You'd think it would
right. So you could argue, and that's what some people tried to do, is to argue that, well, that's just those 2 planets. There's actually a whole rest of the empire that you can't see.
Right.
Which is kind of funny. So the Romulans like expanded in a different direction. They just never expanded, in towards the Federation at all.
Makes sense.
Because they suck, apparently. But then, if you're going to argue that, then why is it that the supernova took out the Romulan Empire? Because here's the other problem: is that if the Romulan Empire was only 2 planets in one system, and this is where, and I get it. I know that there are good arguments on both sides. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say there are no arguments for a large Romulan Empire, but the interesting thing is that if you look at the distances and you calculate the amount of time it took the Enterprise to get to the various outposts, the distance between the outposts and all that, and the distance from Romulus to the outposts, then it actually would make sense that it's a singular star system. And that the outpost would be in the Oort cloud of that star system. It would be, all of that would add up perfectly. And so, which it would be as if there was, if you know what the Oort cloud is in a solar system, it would be as if an advanced extraterrestrial race put outposts on asteroids in the Oort cloud of our solar system.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. And so, yeah, just keep us in check. And so that would make sense. And it would also explain why the Romulans could get away with not having warp drive, because they were limited to a singular star system. So
they don't have warp drive?
In that first episode, no. Scotty says their power is impulse only.
See, I'm way more familiar with TNG.
Right.
So.
Yeah, because I could see in TOS where they could only be either just, the 2 planets or just a small handful of planets just because of the size of their ships.
Right.
and how slow they were. But then when you get to the next generation era,
Right.
this
All of a
doesn't
sudden,
make
it doesn't
any
make
anymore
sense.
when they have like a fleet of derelict ships there.
Right.
Yeah.
But
See, that's why the supernova never made any sense to me, because I'm like, don't they have more than one planet? Like,
right. But then you fast forward to the supernova. The supernova would make sense taking out the Empire if the Empire was only one system.
yeah, I just always thought it was like, bigger.
The
but-
supernova makes no sense taking out the Empire if the Empire is multiple systems.
Well, I mean, I suppose it would because if it takes out the core world, the Empire could just collapse.
Well,
But
the problem is it's not just the Empire collapsing; it's the evacuation necessary.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's not the political collapse; it's the evacuation.
Right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and so and so it makes more sense. It honestly makes more sense that if they truly need to evacuate the Romulans, that it's due to it being a singular planet or a singular planetary system. And of course, nobody cares about the Remans. Screw them. Even Picard doesn't care about the Remans. No, never mentioned in the series Picard. Why? Because I don't think they forgot one bit. I think Picard remembered Shinzon was, and he was like, yeah, screw the Remans. I didn't like what they did.
Just lets them die.
Yeah, that was his "let them die" moment.
Yeah.
And I know John's trying to argue, but John, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to get into a big old argument about it right now. I'm just saying that I think that it's the only way to resolve both the size of the layout of the map in Balance of Terror and the supernova taking out the Romulan Empire in Picard. And so now now you can also make the argument, and I think that there's a case to be made that the Romulan Empire changed in scale over the years. So that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
The Empire expanded and contracted multiple times because the Romulans were not a static empire. But the problem is that what we saw in Enterprise clearly cannot be in the is inconsistent with what we see in TOS. And so either Enterprise is in a different timeline, or there's multiple, I don't know, multiple federations or something. I don't know. Something doesn't make sense.
The Empire doesn't really change that much, apparently, because I remember watching that Enterprise episode where they showed the Romulan homeworld. It was basically the same matte painting they used for Nemesis.
Yeah, it's like, wow, that's pretty amazing. But yeah, the problem there is that, of course, in Enterprise, in the episode Minefield, we got to see the Bird o' Prey 5 decloaking. And yet, the Romulan flagship in Balance of Terror was the new experimental cloaking device, and that no human had ever seen an invisible starship before. Not to mention, though, of course, an entire fleet of Klingon cloaked ships that almost wiped out the Federation just a few years before.
What's a cloaking device, though? What?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of just making it up as they go, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, John. They were wearing the same uniforms as in Nemesis.
Gosh, that movie's so terrible.
I didn't mind it. I liked the last 20 minutes. The battle scene was pretty fun.
From which one?
Nemesis.
I thought the battle scene was okay, but it still suffers from the ships move too fast.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And but I did like that. You know, it's kind of funny that they were like, "Hey, let's put it in a nebula." People like that. You know.
I just like how the entire bridge is destroyed. They're still all sitting up there. There's a giant hole in the front.
Well, it's like, what's the point of the battle bridge if you blow a hole in the bridge and it doesn't really matter? You know, it's like,
Oh, this seems safe.
That's the one where they kill Data, right?
yeah. Mounds Elysium says perhaps the majority of Romulans exist mainly in one system rather than spread out over several systems. The Romulan military holds the Empire together. Force projection, not numbers. Well, that would make a certain amount of sense. I mean, if that were the case, though, if the Romulans had a bunch of planets under their control, but not numbers on those planets, then I would ask, why is it that they needed the Federation to give them planets to colonize? You know, like planet Picard's a dickhead planet where Picard walks into the no humans allowed and stomps on their sign like a complete I mean, what kind of a butt-headed move was that?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry. You know, there's a place in Portland, Oregon. There's a place. It's actually there's a like a lot of big cities have a Asian district, right? You know, like a Chinatown, Japantown, that kind of thing. And sometimes there are places where whites are not welcome, right? And you kind of get to know where those areas are, and you don't go there. There is a place, and of course, everybody snickers at the name, but it's in Portland, Oregon, and it was called Hung Far Low. And it was one of those places where you just, and it'd be like if I walked in there and, just kind of strut my stuff and said, "Hey, I hear someone here's hung pretty low. Well, guess I'll belly up to the bar. Give me a, and it's like, no, you're being a complete dick. This is their territory. Let them have it." But no, Picard was a dick.
That didn't really make sense how that planet's like a third world country and they just came from a huge space empire. It just makes no sense.
Yeah.
They'd still have technology.
Well, apparently not. Because apparently the Federation is a bunch of dicks. They're like, "Oh, we'll drop you off on this planet with no tech.
Yeah, just
but we'll give you some booze because we're gonna make it a really obvious allegory for the reservation." By literally putting you on a reservation. And by the way, we're gonna make it so we're gonna have your evil, and what is up with the everybody's sneaky? That's your culture. You sneaky Asians.
I heard that so much when I was growing up.
Did you?
Asians. They're sneaky.
Well, it's funny because that was an Asian stereotype for a long time.
It was, yeah.
And that really bothered me, the whole sneaky thing. It's like, because it's bad enough that they tried to make the Romulans devious through TNG, but then to take it to that level in Picard?
Yeah, it was.
I was like, bad. I was like, wow, really? And then to make their night elf character, whatever, who was obviously, I'm sorry, but you should be suing them for stealing.
You're using my image without my.
Yeah, they're clearly. Yeah, every house has a secret back door. Let me ask you: if every single house has a secret back door, how secret can it be?
Yeah, so it's just the door then.
Yeah, it's exactly. That's like that makes no sense.
Yeah, if you're gonna be secretive, why even have a door? Why wouldn't you just transport inside in and out of your house?
And yes, John, the more you think about the writing of Picard, the worse it gets. I think that's the problem. They just don't expect you to think about it. So,
And what's sad about that is Patrick Stewart loved that too. That was great.
you know, one of these days I need to record the sound of YoZeph drinking. And then just play that for like 5 minutes at the beginning of the show. Just so that'll be my intro music. So yeah, smirt writing. We can write. I think it was written by Packlids. But not just any Packlids, like the Packlids from Lower Decks that were too dumb to get on Lower Decks. Yeah, so just remember, Kirk marooned Khan on SETI Alpha 5, or was it 6? So the Federation has a history of dumping people and leaving them. Well, that's true, but Kirk at least straight up told Khan what to expect. Right?
Kirk was kind of a dick. I mean, he went around the galaxy just destroying planets and governments and just piecing out.
Yeah.
But they never went back to check on him.
Well, he knew the Cerritos would come by eventually and check on him.
Sorry, your computer overlord's gone. We're leaving now.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, I agree, Andy. I think that the problem was that, honestly, the death of the Romulans was Star Trek 3. If Star Trek 3 was done the way it was originally intended, I think we would have had a much better Romulan Empire today. But unfortunately, that did not happen. And I blame my bat dog. By the way, it's funny because if you've ever looked up a fox bat, a fox bat looks like an uglier version of my dog. If you look at the face of a fox bat. Like, my dog looks like a really cute fox bat. All right, well, I'm going to wrap up morning goat milk with YoZeph because YoZeph's not going to make it, and he's drinking yak's milk today anyway. So maybe tomorrow we'll do yak's milk. Oh, and we lost somebody. Who did we lose? Oh, no, we didn't. Daniel just turned on his camera. All right, Daniel, so you get to sign us out, Daniel. So what do you want to say?
Not sure. Nothing comes to mind right now.
All right, so nothing comes to mind, which is exactly what happened with the writer's room of Star Trek Picard.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I just remembered. There's like, you remember you were talking about Robert Pattinson Batman, how awesome it was a couple days ago?
Well, I don't think Robert Pattinson was awesome. I think that the trailer was pretty good aside from him.
All right. So, like, okay, you know, you've read Crisis on Infinite Earths, right?
Yes.
I assume, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is something we can talk about next cast, right? Like, okay, I heard there's like this big thing going around that like they're gonna fuse the Burton verse with the DCEU. They're gonna make something completely new. That's why Michael Keaton is in the new DCEU, and it makes sense, right? So, but it doesn't make any sense. How can they fuse those two universes together? That means there would be two of everything there, right?
Not necessarily. I think we're just seeing.
Gotham.
I think we're just seeing Flash in that universe, and I think you're reading too far ahead of it. Just enjoy the movies as they come out. We'll see, because you're thinking of Crisis on Infinite Earths. This is not Crisis on Infinite Earths. This is just the Flash movie. Notice they didn't call it Flashpoint Paradox. It's just called The Flash. So, and notice that even in the voiceover, Michael Keaton says, you can cross over to any universe you want. Why did you choose this universe? Why did you choose to protect this universe? So it sounds like Flash has just decided, you know what, I'm done with the universe I was in. I want to live here now. So it doesn't sound like Crisis on Infinite Earths and universes merging together. It sounds like Ezra Miller's like, you know what? I don't want to deal with, freaking Ben Affleck and Soy Boy married to Lisa Bonet. I want to live here with Michael Keaton. So that's what it sounds like to me.
Because I've been hearing, like, I've been talking to my friends on Discord, and they're like, "Oh yeah," like I'm thinking, so they're gonna merge the universes together, and then the other guy says, like, "Oh no, one of them will be erased." Right?
It's just not. You know what? You're
I'm like, they can't do this.
Daniel, you're thinking. First of all, pure rumor, pure speculation. Don't worry about it. And when the movie comes out, we'll see.
Yeah.
Don't stress over it. But but it doesn't. I don't think that they're going to wipe out universe. Again, you're thinking about comic books. What they do in the movie is what they do in the movie, and I don't think that they're going to wipe out the universe or anything like that, because I don't think the audience will be able to follow what's going on.
That's true.
All right, guys. So there you go. We've pretty much decided that they are not going to destroy the universe in the next Flash movie. So take care, live long and prosper, and don't forget that YoZeph has seen Bird of Prey 5's butt and survived somehow. Don't know how. That's yeah. I mean, really, how do you